In the game-winning free throw. Up next, the Spurs continue the Rodeo road trip in Charlotte. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio. Hello. Welcome into the Morning Huddle, 94.1.
Yeehaw!
San Antonio Sports. It's rodeo time.
You hear that, you better run.
Rob wore his boots today, so you know it's rodeo time in San Antonio.
I'm doing some S-kicking.
That's right.
Yeehaw.
That's right. If I had known that today was the first day of the rodeo, I would have worn my boots too.
Well, there's still time. You got to start. You got to get the drawl in.
Yeah, I listen, man. I can talk.
Listen, man.
Boomer with the best of them, man. Them to ride them cows, man. I said,
when I used to drive boats down the river and used to do the tour guide stuff, people would say, "Well, you don't sound like you're from here."
People said that to me my whole life.
Well, I think part of it is our living. We have a rather homogenized tone because you can't really have the drawl. But, you don't sound like you're from here. And well, what do we sound like?
Yeah. Like I
can give you a southern drawl if you want it, But
so when I was in the Army, like this, what a way to start the show.
Welcome aboard.
When I was in the Army, a terrible thing happened, and there was a murder in my unit.
Oh, wow.
Like one of the soldiers in my units killed another one. And it was a massive story because the soldier that got killed was gay, and it made national headlines.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Okay. We had people, and I was in court. Like it was a huge deal, and Showtime ended up making a movie based on this story, and the character they didn't use any of our names, but based on the
What's
way
the movie?
It's called Soldier's Girl, and
I am all right.
But based on the way that the characters were portrayed, you could kind of tell who everyone was in the story. And I'm the soldier from Texas, so obviously I wear a cowboy hat and talk like a hillbilly the whole time, and it's like, I don't think they know I'm from Houston, and I don't know. I'm not sure that they know that Houston's like, we got running water and everything there. You'd be shocked.
Yeah, people have a different perception of what Texas is. I play it up though. Don't get me wrong.
But the whole time it's like, howdy, man.
Yeah,
and
seriously,
I'm like, okay,
I'll play it up.
all right. If that's what you think of me, all right.
I went to a wedding one year. It's been about 10 years ago, and it was one of those hoity-toity Nantucket log weddings.
Yeah, and
I got invited, and I was thought of as the Texan, and boy, I played it up. You'd have thought I was John Wayne before I left. I was a cowboy through and through. Well, ma'am,
howdy, y'all.
I'm from San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who says San Antonio, by the way, ain't from here. If you ever hear that and they say they're from San Antonio, nope, you're not from here.
It's San Anto.
Well, yeah, it is funny the way that works. But
anyway, let's do a radio show. It's a busy day.
It is a busy day. We got a lot to talk about. We are now T-minus 2 radio shows from the Super Bowl happening. That game is going to happen in New Orleans on Sunday.
Line's going to move today.
That's what Rob believes. Now, here the big problem is, though, Rob, the daily lines on my little rundown has been shifted from 9:30 to 8:30.
Well, okay, but I'm talking. We will feel it tomorrow when we discuss. We will feel it because everybody's flying into town today. Everybody's going to get the little lay of the land. They're going to find their book. They're going to start getting involved, and we'll see the line move.
There is now legal sports betting in Louisiana.
Yeah. I do believe. I'm not kidding. I've been saying all week that the line will move once people start flying into town.
So we will do that. We'll do the daily lines today at 8:30 instead of 9:30 because we've got some guests on the show. We've got your buddy coming on the show at 9:00. Your pal.
He is my Patronus.
You guys like share text messages.
You know what? I talk him up. He's not going to remember me at all. But honestly, if he doesn't remember me, I'm going to be hurt.
I know.
I seriously. I hope
this is already set up.
I hope he's been prepped. I hope Minix tells him, like, look, man, he really does kind of idolize you.
Yeah.
So just remember his name.
Andrew Zimmern is going to join the program at 9:00, and at 9:30 we have, if not the greatest Bills running back.
I think you can say it now.
Now I can say.
I think this is
Vic, I'll go and I'm going to pull back the third wall for you.
Okay.
I was thinking about, so we're going to have Thurman Thomas on at 9:30,
Right.
the Buffalo Bills legend, Thurman Thomas, one of my favorite players when I was a kid.
Okay.
I wanted to introduce him at 9:30, and I wanted to say, joining us now on the Morning Huddle is, if not the greatest running back in the history of the Buffalo Bills, certainly the greatest who's never cut his wife's head off, the great Thurman Thomas. Do you think that Thurman would have disliked that?
I think I even think Thurman might not like that.
You think that would be in poor taste?
Yeah.
You know, what they
Personally,
say,
yeah.
well, comedy is tragedy plus time.
And we've had time.
I don't think we've had enough time.
Oh, my God, it's 1994. There's been like 5 documentaries
you still
about it.
can't even throw down a good Lincoln joke. I mean,
What?
it's going to take 100 years, man.
What?
I'm just saying.
a Lincoln joke?
I mean, you can't throw it like a good JFK joke, a good
I feel like
blasted
yes,
in a
I think you can.
I haven't heard too many blasted in a convertible jokes. I haven't. So we just haven't gotten enough time yet. So,
But the difference is those guys got killed by non-famous people.
again,
OJ is the famous person.
I'm just tragedy plus time.
Like, are we allowed to make Diddy jokes?
Hell no.
I think we are.
I don't think so.
We make Michael Jackson jokes.
No, I don't even
We're
think we
always
make a
allowed
lot
to
of
make
Michael
Diddy jokes.
Jackson jokes.
God, I make a lot of inappropriate jokes, and I joke about everyone who's famous and
Well,
does something
there
terrible.
are certain people's jobs to keep that thing keep punching the holes until it rips. But
Is that's
we're
on
not
that person? It's my job to
Well,
do that.
yeah, you're the one that gets canceled.
Yeah.
There's other ones that see what happens.
Yeah, I think you're probably
when you go
right.
through the minefield. We'll let other guys go through the minefield and
And they'd be like, "Oh,
don't say that."
Saw what happened to him. I wouldn't do that."
So so we can make.
So Rob's new co-host, he's gonna be like, "Hey, man, I'd avoid OJ jokes if I were you."
Yeah.
So we can make Epstein jokes. Oh, okay. So we can laugh about Epstein hanging himself. That's funny.
I'd be real careful about that. I'd be real
Well,
careful.
they might kill you, but you can make jokes about it. We can joke about the prince
I think
being
we're
a pedophile, but we can't talk about Michael yet.
we're over 30 years on the OJ thing. I think we're okay.
We're not there yet. I'm telling you. While you might think you are, people still go, poor Nicole.
I think
Seriously, we're not there yet.
Thurman, while he's telling us about pork rinds, probably doesn't want to.
I would introduce him as one of the 20 best high school football players in the state of Texas history.
Maybe you should introduce him then.
No, I think you're the fan. You
I
should-
know, but
mean-
you have a story.
Well, no, I don't. I wish I would have because we never actually faced him.
But you're thankful you didn't.
Thank goodness. And and my memory is, I need to Google this. I believe he's opened up Willow Ridge High School. I think he was there that first,
He was the first class.
or right in there. I think when Willow Ridge first began, he was right there. And in 1983 or 82 at the time, South Sound West Campus was a playoff-bound football team. And we played I think Hayes Consolidated in the playoffs. And if we'd have beaten them, we would have played the Willow Ridge team with Thurman. We didn't. And that Willow Ridge team went on to just utterly destroy
knock on wood, thank goodness
the
you
team
didn't.
that beat us, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
I didn't play, by the way. I watched. I was a cheerleader's manager.
Well, listen, even if you're
I
on
had
the
a big job. I
if you're-
was
even if
the
you're on the-
manager for the dance team. I had a big job, man.
What?
I did. I wrangled me and my good friend Adrian Guerra. We got to be the dance team managers and got to ride on the bus with the dance team.
Damn, that's a good gig if you can get it.
Yeah.
That's a damn
It's
good
not
gig
all
if
it's
you can get
cracked up to be. Let's just put it there.
But yeah, we'll talk to Thurman. I won't mention OJ. I won't mention anything like that, but I did. Well, last night when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about in this interview, I was like, oh, that would be really funny. And then I was like, wait, that would be funny to me. Yeah. But would Thurman find that funny? And chances are good he would not.
I just think the shadow of O.J. has been over his head
Forever.
since the day he landed in Buffalo.
I know.
Literally. I mean, there hadn't been anybody since O.J. from when he arrived. You know what I mean? As far as running backs, there hadn't been anything in between. So, no, I recall, remember when he couldn't, the Super Bowl and his helmet, there was an issue with his helmet, and he got all surly about that. I think he's probably a good dude. I don't think he's a jovial dude when it comes to OJ.
He doesn't like to talk. He doesn't like to make fun of himself, or I could see that.
But I will tell you this: any kid who in high school decides to follow Barry Sanders tells me a lot about it.
Remember, you said you don't want to be the man after the man.
Decided to follow the greatest running back that most people had ever seen play. I mean, and period. Go back and watch Barry Sanders' college tape, not his Detroit Lion tape, when he was truly a man amongst boys. And then he watched that and said, I'm as good as that. I'm going to follow that up.
That's one of the questions I do want to ask him is, why did he go to Oklahoma State?
Why there? I don't know how. Because Sanders was there, but to decide that I'm going to not only go there and try to, follow up, but thrive.
Yeah,
and do what he did. That tells me a lot about a person, and he was a kid when he decided to do it.
So I want to talk to him about that. But again, I will avoid discussing OJ. Should I ask if he's seen the most recent documentary?
Now that would be a good entree. And if he's down with it, then you could go. Have you ever been introduced as? You could ask him that. Has anybody ever introduced you as this?
I want to because part of what I'm curious about is he received now as, like, in Buffalo, as the greatest running back who's ever played? Like, do the Bills fans treat him like that? Do the Bills as an organization?
Son looks at him like that.
Well, your son doesn't know of OJ as a football player.
My oldest is 30 years old. He wouldn't know OJ from
what I'm saying is, like,
highlight film.
How do the Bills treat, like, how certain teams treat their legends a certain way?
You have to treat
You have to treat him better than, like.
In fact, I think even if, let's just say OJ hadn't.
Oh, OJ would be treated better.
Well, I will say this, that group of him and Rison and Kelly and
Reed, not Rison.
I mean, Reed and Bruce Smith,
yeah.
that group, that tally,
yeah.
that group that was inside, because they never won it, I think they get treated even better. You know what? I think when you go back to Buffalo, everybody loves on them a little bit more because, damn it, you gave everything you had. It just wasn't enough, man.
But pre-murders, you have to remember OJ was so beloved.
He was king of the land.
He was beloved not just in Buffalo, like by the world.
No, you're right.
OJ was beloved.
You're right. I will give you that. I was just giving. I think that group, because they didn't win, might be looked at more lovingly and fondly in the long term, even more so, because they never did, and they're still our dudes, though. You know?
I just mean, like, if the Bills, when the Bills have their 100th anniversary or whatever, and they post like a Mount Rushmore of their all-time legends or whatever they do. My guess is now they would put Thurman's face instead of OJ's, even if on field it's more warranted to be OJ.
No question.
I think you probably want to avoid that.
You can't. You just can't.
Yeah.
You literally just can't.
Although the Ravens still really love Ray Lewis.
But he's convicted? Never convicted.
Neither was OJ.
Well, in the court of opinion.
The court of opinion, I think Ray Lewis was.
No. I mean, after time.
I think if you ask most non-Ravens fans, they'll say, oh, yeah, Ray Lewis is a murderer.
And the fact of the matter is he gave the dude a ride. You know what I mean? The fact of the matter is he was in the van that gave the dude a ride.
Yeah.
He never really did it. He was just part of it. And that's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm not making any of that up.
So
now, whether he helped in it, that's where the question was.
But that's enough to get you convicted in most situations.
Yeah. He never cut the head off a white lady.
No.
That's normally puts you in the bad side of things.
If people hate you,
I found out in the past.
You know who's not on all who's not on the Patriots Mount Rushmore? Aaron Hernandez. They don't beloved him the way that they would.
And that's more about a mass thing. It wasn't just about the one; it was the several.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah,
I mean, it
wasn't ideal.
He might have gotten one for the couple of what he had done. One we might have forgiven. He was kind of a pimp. I've seen this.
Let's remember, OJ did more than one too.
Yeah, but like I said. I mean, you take out a
and
waiter.
by the way,
every now and again.
allegedly.
No, I think we can all. He's dead. Well, nobody
How
gonna come after
dare
us.
you, Vic?
There's
Are you
not-
saying Lady Justice was mistaken?
I don't think the OJ estate's going to chase us down by accusing him or saying that he did
the
something. that he
OJ
didn't.
estate.
I don't think
Do
the
they-
estate's
I
going to
don't-
come get me and
I
say,
don't
you know
think so
what?
either.
How dare you defame that man's past?
You know, you've really made a mockery of OJ's legacy. You know what?
Well, he did it to himself.
You know what? I'm going to take this moment to apologize
yeah, to the
to OJ's family for saying
those
for making assumptions, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
I got that talk when I was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
I got
About-
the lines
About OJ?
ass, you, me.
Oh, I thought it was about.
It was a coach that gave me that.
Oh, well, that's.
He also said the thing about it's not the size of the
Oh, but it
dog,
is.
Oh,
and the,
yeah.
fu-
Oh,
the
it is.
fight,
Oh, but
and
it's
the-
fighting the
and
dog.
The dog
It
and
is
the
about
fight.
the
We
size.
just couldn't get it right. It's not the size of the dog that fights. It's the handler that's holding the leash.
Was he a little person?
No, he's a bad basketball coach.
Okay, but was he big?
Kinda.
Okay, because usually the guys who talk about
Yeah.
how badass,
Yeah.
like it's all about the size of fighting a
Oh,
dog,
yeah, no.
they're usually undersized.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten that talk from many an undersized person.
Not the size of the ocean and the boat. It's the
I don't know.
I
I think
don't know.
if
It's the
your
dog
if your
and the fight.
basketball
I don't
coach was
know.
talking about that, you needed to go to your to your counselor. All right, we'll be back. We got plenty of hoops to talk today and NFL. It's a busy day. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
It's busy now. Wait till Sunday. If you're waiting to figure out what you're doing for the big game, you might as well decide right now. Call your friends, call your fam. Say, meet me in Twin Peaks. You did it again. Watch your elbow. No, it's meet me at Twin Peaks. It's the big game weekend. This is what they were made to do. They got 4 locations waiting on you all weekend long. And if you head over to the big game locale that is Twin Peaks, they got this thing going on at the end of every quarter. It's like the squares, but you can win gift cards. And while you're there, you don't have to worry about hosting nothing. You don't have to worry about cooking nothing. You don't have to worry about getting all the stuff that goes along with the big game. Everything you need is going to be right there all day long. The eats coming out are going to be fantastic specials all day long. I recommend a flatbread early and work your way up to one of those fantastic burgers. And in between, have yourself some charcuterie. They got all the stuff you're waiting for. You got all the local brews. You got a mixologist behind the bar doing exactly what is required on a big game day like that. And they're going to take you all the way from beginning to end in a man cave atmosphere. But make sure you have your seat. You got to reach out to your favorite Twin Peaks to make sure the locale has got the room that you need. Call them today to make sure you got it. That's 4 locations around San Antonio, over at 151, Days of All on I-10, Loopland, of course, right there at Blanco and 410. And then the brand new one, I say it, man, they're a couple years old now, over at Aquia Lane on the northeast side. You know why you head over there for the big game. The eats are spectacular. The drinks, well, they're going to be 29 degrees or colder. They got a sign that proves it, but why do you go? It's those scenic views.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we are in good shape. Traffic volume is still light. Now, we do have this road work that could possibly slow you down. 35 southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez, roadway reduced to 1 lane. And on 35 upper level, southbound that connector to westbound I-10, that connector ramp is reduced to 1 lane. Bit patchy fog in area, so make sure you slow down and keep those low beams on. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Ready for the special season that's not on any calendar? It's free phone season. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless this tax season and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print it all for my business.
Oh, if you can think it, Staples can print it.
And will beat any print quote. Oh, great. I'm thinking new brochures and yard signs.
No problem.
I'm thinking calendars, t-shirts, and pens.
Totally.
I'm thinking Staples is the place for printing.
I thought you might think that.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Summer or winter Texas weather doesn't do anything halfway, and neither should your roofer. You need a local roofer you can trust. That is Stevens Roofing. You know, Texas roofs are not designed for freezing weather. When ice and snow melt, water seeps into the little cracks, then refreezes, creating bigger cracks. That means leaks or maybe worse. Don't wait to see what damage has occurred. Call Stevens Roofing today for a free inspection. 210-785-0994. That's 210-785-0994 for Stevens Roofing.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is day 3 of our time here in New Orleans on Radio Row for the Super Bowl. It's Cowboys Day.
It really is. We'll start at 2:15 with the great Emmitt Smith.
Daryl Johnson's going to join us as well, plus one of the biggest hitters in the NFL.
Darren Woodson, plus a lot more here from Radio Row in New Orleans. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Yeah. Grab yourself. Oh,
just grab yourself.
Morning Huddle 94.1. San Antonio sports star.
You like that country artist Beyonce?
Beyonce.
She's a fine country singer.
I think it's Beyonce. I think he's French. Yeah. Beyonce.
Is she new? I never heard of her.
Apparently, relatively new. I will say this, like,
everybody settle down.
Not that I care. Right. I heard enough of that album. That's not a country album.
Everybody just settle down. Who cares?
I don't care.
It's just like, okay.
But it's not a country album.
You know who should
Turn
care?
on Florida Georgia Line. Tell me if that's country.
I'll say the only people who should care are the other people who were nominated for a country award and didn't get it. And I'd be like, I could understand being frustrated then, but like, it doesn't affect any of our lives at all. And what they think of as country, who gives a damn? But
I don't know what country is. It's just whatever they tell me it is. I can't tell.
I played you the song yesterday, the Lap Dance is So Much Better song.
That's country.
That's country.
It does. If you got a twang to it, if you got a steel guitar, you have to be country, right? It's just it's absolutely part of it. I sing about pickup trucks.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, and we don't want to do Texas stereotypes. Rind was talking about the stereotype of Pee Wee Herman at the Alamo. Like,
well, there is in fact a basement. I can tell you it's true.
Well, I've never seen it.
Well, you have to be.
No,
on the
I'm
inside.
not. I'm not a native like you.
You have to. Yeah, you have to have been around for a minute.
Yeah.
There's a bike still there.
Probably
still there.
What a great bike. Rind says Kid Rock and Post Malone can cross over, but Beyonce not allowed. I don't know. Again, when I first heard Kid Rock, he had like a high top fade and was doing straight hip hop.
Let me tell you,
Kid Rock goes where the money is.
You got to go way back when. You should have heard the uproar when Vanilla Ice hit it.
Oh
yeah.
People don't like that.
And it was correct.
The thing for me is
he deserved the abuse.
The thing for me is I don't see color. So I think whatever kind of whatever background you come from, you can do the music that makes you happy.
I thought that's why you dressed funny.
That is also why I dress funny.
I don't see color.
Yeah, I wear pink pants with my
basically I don't see red or green.
with my purple shoes.
But I'm as racist as anybody. I just can't tell what color I'm wearing.
And Victor says Sanders followed Thomas at Oklahoma State, which I think is true. Because I think Thurman is older than Barry.
Is he older? I thought it was the other way around.
No, I think he's
Really?
older. Yeah.
My mind tells me the other way.
Because I think Barry Sanders won the Heisman in like 88, and by then Thurman was already in the league.
See, my mind was Sanders was younger, but you're right.
I mean,
no, you're right. You're right. In hindsight, you're right. But Thomas was one of the best. Go back and watch his highlight.
We're going to have to ask why he went to Oklahoma State. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, there was a time they were with Jimmy Johnson there. They were the first Miami.
But who's leaving Texas? Like you had. I mean, now the University of Texas was down at the time, but A&M was like kind of riding high at the time.
They chased, and SMU was hot. I mean, there was reason to stay, but they were a hot team back in the day. Gundy at quarterback was something to be said, and there's a reason why Sanders landed there. But he was Oklahoma. No, he was Kansas, wasn't he?
I think he's not a Texan. I know that much. He ain't no Texan.
They were. I mean, I'm sure there was some help.
I mean, a little grease,
a little something,
a little grease, maybe so.
Still water,
maybe so. All right,
and he'll be here when? When will Thurman be here?
He'll be on at 9:30. 9:30. Yeah, 9 o'clock. We've got reserved for your guy. Your buddy,
Andrew Zimmern,
your homeboy.
For those of you who don't know who Andrew Zimmern is, he made his bones on Food Network stuff with a show called Bizarre Foods, where he would literally eat anything. He had traveled the world, and different groups ate different things. He'd eat bugs out of trees. And
I'll do that too.
I think
not eggplant.
Never an eggplant for a lot of reasons. But he's one of those guys. He's a celebrity chef, and he's in. You've seen him on just about every food channel, cooking, doing something, whether it be wild game or whatever. Just a great interview. Interesting cat, and he'll give you some insight on what you could be cooking this week.
And one of Rob's best friends.
He's a dude, man. He's a good dude.
And if he doesn't remember Rob,
he's gonna break my heart. He's gonna break my heart because I physically assaulted him in Minneapolis. I literally almost assaulted him.
Why?
It was the media night, and at the media night in Minneapolis was inside, obviously, at the Mall of the Americas, and they have an amusement park in there. And it was kind of dark, and we were walking along, Minix and I, and we just run into, I believe it was I don't think – who is the country singer that does the insurance commercials with Peyton Manning?
I don't know.
Was
I know
him.
I can picture his face.
But we ran into him, and Minix goes, "That's him." And I didn't know who he was, so we took some pictures. And as I turned with the Minix's camera, Zimmern was walking toward me, and I lost it. There's no other way to say it. I literally went, "Oh my God!" and went, "You're that guy."
Brad Paisley is the guy's
Paisley.
name.
So we had just run into Brad Paisley, and Jason kind of fanboyed him. I didn't know who he was, so we took the pictures, and I turned around and went and turned into a 12-year-old girl when I saw Zimmer.
Okay.
And Minix had like, "Who? The guy behind the bald guy?" And I was like, "No, the bald guy. That's Andrew
the guy.
Zimmer." Of course, Minix had no idea who it was. And, well, who would? I mean, at that point, this was...
What a square.
He was just finished... Well, this has been a minute. This has been 6-7 years ago. And he had just kind of finished up his bizarre foods thing and was kind of branching out.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
I like Adam Richmond, the guy who ate massive amounts of food.
Well, he almost ate himself. Well, he had to quit his job because he got too fat.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, hey, man, if I keep doing these food challenges, I'm going to die. So I need to retire. And you know what? The guy who replaced him sucks.
Yeah, he does. That poor
Boring.
guy. You never want to be the guy to replace the guy.
Man versus food. I used to love that show, but the new guy, no good. Dud.
It just doesn't measure up to it.
All right. I got to hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Spurs from last night. 7 o'clock hour, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the trade deadline because things are happening. Jimmy Butler's got a new team. But we'll talk about the Spurs, the debut of De'Aaron Fox last night. There was some positives, and there was some, more of the same. We'll talk about it next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we are in good shape. Traffic volume is still light. Now, we do have this road work that could possibly slow you down. 35 southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez, roadway reduced to one lane. And on 35 upper level, southbound that connector to westbound I-10, that connector ramp is reduced to one lane. Bit patchy fog in area, so make sure you slow down and keep those low beams on. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes, tax extra.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Trump said no more censorship and immediately called the big boss at iHeart. I said, hey, I want to be the first one to drop an F-bomb on FCC radio. Right. And he wrote back, you already have. And he's like, we've got a document of it. But I said, I want to be the first one to do it, legally.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Methodist Care Now Urgent Care has 18 locations throughout San Antonio, open 7 days a week. From injuries and illnesses to school and sports physicals, Care Now Urgent Care is here to help you feel better fast. Find a location near you at carenow.com and use our convenient web check-in today.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. For details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
You've lost so much weight. How'd you do it?
I got medical treatment for weight loss through Zelty and lost 50 pounds. I struggled for the longest time, but Zelty makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelty providers can prescribe FDA-approved weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight, like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others.
I've heard those medications can help you lose weight, but aren't they expensive?
Zelty can help get the medication covered by insurance, so it's as little as $0 a month.
What if you don't have insurance?
No problem. Zelty may be able to help you get other GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% off the price of name brand medications.
I'm ready to start losing weight. How do I get started with Zelty?
Just text.
Text THIN to 200-300 to get started today with Zelty and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy and Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text THIN to 200-300. That's THIN to 200-300. THIN to 200-300.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in zone.
This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in zone.
But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-334-2266. That's 800-334-2266. 800-334-2266.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
Hey, it's James Pledger. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? Well, you better get on it. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 to get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
This is Jason Minix, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yo. Yee, yee, yee. Yo. Yeah. I got more slaps than the Beatles.
I want to be the yee guy.
Yee, yee.
You didn't come in quick enough with your yee.
Yeah. There it is.
You know, we're the only ones doing this, I'm sure.
What?
The Fox?
Yeah. But
it's going to catch on.
On the Nationals, they're already calling him the Fantastic Mr. Fox. We've already taken the step and grabbed the sound effect.
Yep.
That's how good we are. We're already beyond the headline.
The day the trade happened, I told Vic, I said, pull that for me anytime we talk about him.
So
the Fantastic Mr. Fox.
When you hear it, and it's coming, just know it started right here.
That's right. They're gonna try to take it. The Spurs in the Fantastic Mr. Fox's debut It was a lot to like about what we saw out of him.
What was the best thing about it for you? What did you see and you went, and the worst thing about it? But, I mean, obviously it was a great night.
I would say the best thing about it for me was I saw a guy who is willing to score, but he's also willing to be the setup man, and that's what you're going to have to be here. Like, if you had told me he was going to have 24 points, I would have said, okay, that's about right. If you told me he was going to have 13 assists and 1 turnover, I was going to go, oh, man.
Look out. And the rest of the league this morning.
Now we're cooking, baby.
Dude, let me tell you, the rest of the league woke up this morning and looked at the box and went, 1 turnover?
Exactly.
So, for me,
now,
absolutely.
mind you, he's still – you don't have to shoot either, bro. Look, none of you guys have to shoot threes. None of you have to pretend to be three-point shooters
The crazy
anymore.
thing is he hit his first one. He went, oh, no. The next one was you didn't throw a neck ball, but it wasn't close. Castle threw the neck ball. Castle threw up the neck ball 3. For me, the assists will go down as one of the more masterful restraint games that De'Aaron Fox has ever played. He could have had 20 assists. He chose not to throw the ball sometimes. I mean, because he was just this gravitational force. And whoever was on him, he was going to turn the corner. So somebody always had to help. They had to dive into the lane because nobody can keep him out. Not since Tony Parker have we had that. So now we have a guy that commands the presence and gets into the paint, and the three-point shooting is going to get easier, but it's going to be much more apparent how bad we truly are because these shots are now going to be wide open. So that's the one thing that's going to be the long term. For me last night, De'Aaron Fox will make the difference in the last 2 minutes of a game. Now, we played about as bad a third quarter as the Spurs have played all season long. But when it came down to it,
fourth quarter wasn't great.
Well, they fought themselves back into a third quarter. What was it, a 17-3 run to close down the third quarter? I mean, they collapsed for a variety of reasons. But the threat of him alone being able to go get a bucket, the Spurs haven't had anything like this since Kawhi. I mean, let's be honest about ourselves. We haven't had a dude that can grab the ball off the rim, control the offense, take the jump shot, get to the rim, and go get his own shot whenever he wants it. And you think about all those last 2-minute games when we lost because that extra pass that it went not good to better, good to average, average to worse is what our average closeout was. Nobody wanted the shot. They passed the ball. Wemby takes a fadeaway 3. We lose the game. That's what our closeout has been. Now, De'Aaron Fox with his ball in his hand, 5 dudes got to go find the 2023 most, what was he, Captain Late? What was the award that he won?
Mr. Clutch.
Mr. Clutch or whatever it is. It showed again last night. He is such a genuine threat that everybody else on the court is suddenly open the moment he turns his corner against his man.
When we come back, I'll tell you my favorite thing about what happened last night, and it's what I want to see a lot more of. I got to tell you guys about Cerebral. If you are dealing with things in your life, and let's face it, all of us are dealing with things in our lives that can kind of drag you down. You don't always, you in the social media age, you look around and you see everybody's little perfect life, and you realize, man, my life's not perfect. I got problems, Bubba. I got issues. Well, if you do, you need to take care of yourself, man. It's hard not to get wrapped up in everything else around you, but you need to focus on you sometimes, and that's what Cerebral does. They make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that's personalized for you. Best part, they offer in-network care, so you can focus on feeling better without having to worry about the hefty bill that comes with therapy. 72% of people say they feel better in just 12 weeks. So if you're dealing with stress, anxiety, you want to feel more present, you want to be more focused, you want to sleep better, you want to have better relationships, you're dealing with something going on like a move. I'm dealing with being away from my family. Since May, I've been away from my family. It's not great for my mentals. Cerebral can be that difference maker for you. So, guys, this is a proud sponsor, an official sponsor of the San Antonio Spurs. And just like athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health is just as important. Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. So take that first step today. It's simple. Visit Cerebral.com to see how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral. Make time for mind time.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the big game in the Big Easy.
It's showtime. Let's do it.
And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from New Orleans. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour.
This is exactly where we want to be.
From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all.
I like this kind of party.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling, Circle Las Vegas, Smoky Moe's Barbecue, Synergenics, Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from New Orleans, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They for details.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone. It's called Underdog. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. And Texas sports fans, good news for you. Underdog is available to play in Texas. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the big game. Be like me and many others playing the Pick'em game. And with the Underdog Pick'em game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher, lower on player stats. They've got all the leagues. They've got all the stars to choose from. Create entries with all the football picks or mix and match across other sports. And Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. You can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I like how when this happens, our show just turns into Beavis and Butthead.
Evil robots.
Yeah. Ozzy rocks. Yeah. He ate a bat.
Peed on the Alamo.
The Alamo. The Alamo.
That sounds too close.
My favorite thing last night about the Spurs game was, and I hope that he took notes, because at the very end of the game, when it really could have gone, I mean, it was a tie game. It could have gone either way. The Spurs had totally blew what was the halftime lead? It was like an 18-point lead, 72-54, I believe.
I think that was it, yeah.
So they had blown that entire lead, and it was tied with seconds left on the clock. And rather than stand around out there and try to take a three like he's done most of the season, Wemby attacked the basket.
With Chris Paul barking at him, get to the rim.
Yes.
Get to the rim. Get to the rim.
Because
it was going to happen.
And he goes up to dunk the ball and doesn't finish, but gets fouled. Because that's what's going to happen. When you're a giant and you're going at the rim and someone goes up, because they have to, they can't just let you have an open dunk. They're going to have to contest it. Mm-hmm. And most normal humans can't jump high enough to block your shot. You're going to get fouled. You're going to go to the line, which he did last night, and literally won the game. As soon as Wemby figures out that is what unlocks him into being what we all hope he can be, because the idea of a big man shooting these threes is awesome. Like being a guy who can play outside, that's great, and a great defender. But if you don't have that threat of going inside and doing damage, the outside stuff isn't as scary, because he's not a great three-point shooter.
Not yet. But you're yes.
And so last night to see him, and again, this is why I'm torn on the idea of trading Chris Paul at the deadline, because you're right. Chris Paul's telling him, like, dude, go get there. I don't know if Wemby will listen to Mitch Johnson tell him that.
Well,
so the fact that he's at least Chris Paul's got his ear enough to let him know, hey, now's the time.
Boy, it's frightening when you see that, right?
And of course, Wemby gets hacked and he falls down and he acts like it hurt really bad, and it's like it takes him forever to stand up because he's got like these.
And they barely got him. It was on the wrist.
He's
they got him,
ladder legs. It's like,
it's a redwood coming down, and once it starts, there's no stopping it.
No, I get it.
It's a slow burn.
And I think also, if I were like a big, tall, giant person, I would be embarrassed to fall down all the time too, because it is awkward watching him get up, and he probably realizes that. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because you won the game. And I think I think as soon as he starts play the end game of last night is what I want to see more of out of Wemby. And as soon as we start to see more of that, I really think this Spurs team can take off.
And I think that'll be part of the maturation process. As Wemby gets older and stronger, his game will work its way down. You're right. And I think over the last couple of weeks, even the national pundits have started going, Wemby's taking too many threes. This is kind of silly, because the eyes are now more and more on him as he gets more and more national games. And when you see a guy 7'5" go 3 for 12, you go, man, what are you doing? What? And I think that's part of it. But I used to have a coach that always talked about, there's some players need gravity, and some need to have opposition. They need to be pushing away. The gravity that De'Aaron Fox provides when he is known as the best closer in the league opens the door for so many things. It was easy for Wemby to get to the rim last night.
Yeah.
Because everybody had to look at Fox for the first time. Wemby was not the first option.
But he has to be willing to do it.
And he had to be ordered,
and
but he
what
did.
that means is getting hit. And that's the next step.
Ow.
We'll play some sound from De'Aaron Fox on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
When you think San Antonio sports, think 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the Cowboys. KTFM Floresville and SASportsStar.com.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radio.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. Perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get an extra 60% off, free UPS shipping, and add code RADIO for an extra 5% off.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself anymore, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment like you'll get with the TRT experts at Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 and Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm.
Firm.com for details.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
What's up, football fans? Are you excited for the big game and ready to get in on the action? Look no further than the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Sign up using bonus code KOSTOS, KOSTOS, to get up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Be sure to lock in your picks on this year's big game in New Orleans with the Sportsbook born in Vegas. Earn MGM rewards points from your bets, take advantage of offers found nowhere else, and look out for surprise rewards dropping in your account all year. There's no better place to enjoy the big game than BetMGM. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. This specific promotional offer is not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute is starting to slow down a little bit on 35 southbound from Fisher Road on down to 1604, about a 10-12 minute ride. Almost 20 minutes on 90 eastbound 211 on over to Loop 410. On Loop 410 northbound at Ben's Engelman, getting reports of a stall off to the right shoulder. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs beat the Hawks last night, 126-125, in De'Aaron Fox's San Antonio debut. He scored 24 points and a franchise record 13 assists in his Spurs entry. Wemby was along for the ride, but he offered 24, including the game-winning free throw. Up next, the Spurs continue the Rodeo road trip in Charlotte. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Bum, bum. Happy Thursday. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1. Good morning, Alexandra. It's nice that you call us gentlemen, even though, you know what we are. It ain't that.
Speak for yourself.
Well, you are more of a gentleman than I am. Like, there's something about you. Like, you carry yourself in like a way that
You have a lot of collar shirts.
Yeah, you're like a Confederate like colonel. Like I always think like you seem like a guy who like grew up on a plantation, and you've got this aura about you that's just like
That hat would look good.
He's like he's like a Southern gentleman.
Yeah. You got a picture of sweet tea
Well, let's not put me on a
porch
plantation.
Well, I mean, yeah, you were like one of the good ones who
Put me someplace else.
You were one of the good ones who didn't.
One of the good ones?
Yeah, who didn't use.
Are there any good ones?
You didn't use slave labor at your plantation. You were a sympathizer.
Yeah, you use your kids.
But but you do have like this, like you would come out with a walking stick or something, and like I don't know. There's
I do declare.
I swear, and everybody I've introduced to Rob is like, boy, he's an interesting guy. He's like there's something. You've got this.
He's got this aura.
It's an air.
Right?
Yeah, the kids call it aura. There is something about you that like.
I feel like you're describing like Foghorn Leghorn.
You kind of are. Yeah, if you were a chicken, you would be Foghorn Leghorn. I think, yeah.
And if you were a hunter,
you'd go home and slap your mother.
No, Elmer Fudd is not. Elmer Fudd is like he's like a dopey. There's nothing dignified about him. Foghorn Leghorn is dignified.
I would say to some extent.
I say.
Unfortunately, they can't show any of those cartoons anymore.
No.
None of them are appropriate.
Or the Pepe Le Pew.
No, can't do that.
I know.
He got a little rapey. Hashtag me too.
Mm-hmm. and it was different species. There's all kinds of stuff going on with Pepe.
You don't mean no. I know what you mean. You don't mean no.
First of all, that's a skunk, brother.
I know.
First of all, brother, we need to talk.
That's
a skunk, man.
Skunks having sex with cats in the cartoons.
That's just weird.
You guys raised your kids. This is why we got school shooters now. Because you got
we were watching all kinds of barnyard sex in our Saturday morning cartoons.
All right, Border Jumper says Joe is Elmer Fudd. That is a lot closer to the mark.
Yeah.
That is a
I
lot
picture that.
closer to the mark.
That's good.
We're hunting wabbits.
Yeah. So if Joe's Elmer Fudd and Rob is Foghorn Leghorn, Jason can only be Porky Pig.
You ever impress your wife and walk out of the bedroom all Porky Pig? Go Winnie the Pooh, Porky the Pig, just a t-shirt on?
Just a t-shirt.
Hey, yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah. Okay. I wanted to play this sound. There was some sound. I guess
we have to find this.
We maybe covered it up, but
Edwin, if you're listening, we need to find the incredible Mr. Fox talking about his wife and not coming to Texas. But before we get there,
Yeah. There we go.
but he talked last night about playing next to Vic for the first time.
Yeah, man. He's the rules are different. Like all teams have defensive rules, and I'm going through our personnel stuff and like all the schemes, and something comes up, and I'm like, I've never heard this terminology before, and I'm watching it, and like he's special, like just the type of attention that he commands on the defensive end allows you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. So that's why I think this group can do a lot of things, and I think Devin and Drew had 9 steals together. Like if y'all are continuing to be that active, it makes us that much better. Especially because even if you do gamble, you have somebody like Vic behind you. So it kind of gives you that peace of mind.
it's funny. I was just trying to remember names. There's Devin and that other dude, the guy with the beard. That guy can play. Jewel.
And also, I like it when other guys play defense, so I don't really have to.
I can gamble.
Yeah.
There's a big, tall guy behind me.
Yeah, I dig that.
Anybody who noticed Sabonis was just barely taller than me.
Listen, man, these two guys have the opportunity to be special. I still think there needs to be, the more they put pieces around them, the better I think they can become. And I've said it a million times over. I'll keep saying it. They need to add some shooters to space the floor a little bit, and they still need to find a big man to do big man things. But I really do believe the pick and roll with those two guys can eventually be what this team's identity is, and that's going to be a real problem.
Which broadcast did you watch? Did you watch the local or did you watch the ESPN?
I watched the ESPN.
See, I started with the ESPN, and I watched the second half with Sean and Kobe.
I'll be honest, I don't – unless it's awful, I don't really pay attention to broadcasts.
I thought it was our broadcast because it was Richard Jefferson, and I thought, well, maybe Sean's taking the night off and Jefferson was doing it. I really wasn't paying attention because it was in the background.
Yeah.
It was interesting to hear Richard Jefferson's perspective on the Spurs because he did spend some time inside the gate. I mean, he'd been around here for a minute. And talking about the fact that the way that De'Aaron Fox walked in and played in a system that is so regimented. I mean, the Spurs, it is a system. And how impressed he was watching De'Aaron step on the court in a system that was completely regimented. And there was a point in the second, and I believe it was the second quarter, where Jefferson said, okay, look on the court right now. Everybody out there's a system guy.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't trying to be negative. He goes, what's going on right now is practice for De'Aaron. De'Aaron's watching what this offense is supposed to look like with all the guys that know what the offense does. So they did it. They ran the offense with all those guys in, and then 2 minutes later, De'Aaron comes in, and they ran the offense. So De'Aaron was getting some OJT in game, and while it was happening in that second quarter, in that system, that was the best the Spurs played all night, and De'Aaron really wasn't a part of that.
We'll go back to hearing more from De'Aaron, but I just like I said, that was what it was like for Fox to play with Wemby for the first time. They asked Wemby the same thing, how he felt being out there with De'Aaron.
Of course, it's a surprise for nobody, but we all for it. We all enjoy it. Just brings a lot on the table for us.
Wemby's not easy to understand in general, but when you record his audio with a potato, it is tougher.
And you're only about 3 feet tall, evidently, and can't quite even get past his waist.
I've
with
noticed
the mic.
that. Like it's so. Apparently, everybody else is putting they're putting up microphones and cell phones, and we put literally a potato and we say, okay, can you speak directly into this potato? And that's the audio that we get from it. After a lot of rendering, right, Vic? After we render it.
That was as clean as we could get it.
After we render it.
There were points last night, AJ, as I just can't believe he's a Spur. I just can't believe that they've managed to pull this off. It still
I
doesn't
can't believe
feel
that
real.
He wanted to be a Spur. It's kind of awesome.
When he first of all, when he started, I was like, okay, this is real. You know, when he came walking out, it became completely real. And then I think it might have been the second possession. It wasn't more than a minute or two off the clock when he turned the corner on Trey and was in the paint in a whisper. He is so ridiculously fast. We haven't seen anything like this in San Antonio. We've seen Tony at his best, but nothing like what we're about to have because we've got a couple of Greyhounds now.
The problem is still going to be figuring out how to use it properly.
Oh, my goodness. We don't know what. This is a brand new tool. I don't even know how to begin to use this.
And the challenge is De'Aaron Fox has been this his entire career, or at least the last several years of his career. And guess what? The Kings haven't been a very good team. So there needs to be like a way to harness this and use it for good.
I will say this: we lose but for him last night.
100%. So 100%.
I mean, there's other stuff in Sacramento, and you do have to adopt a winning mentality. But I'll tell you what: to step on the court last night, 13 assists and 1 turnover. You can't script that.
And I love the fact that now, when you've got Chris Paul, you've got De'Aaron Fox, you've got even Steph Castle. You have so many guys who can handle the ball, and I don't know if that's the direct correlation between last night winning the turnover battle 2-1, but I think it certainly helps.
Matters
when everybody on the floor can handle the ball a little bit. And it'll also help when one of those guys gets hurt. Your ball handling doesn't fall off the map. Your play creation doesn't fall off the map. Those are big deals, man. And the fact that you've got this group of guys who obviously have very different skill sets but can all run the offense that is a nice luxury to have.
Well, that closeout last night when you knew that you didn't have to go good to better. We didn't have to have an offense to get a bucket. We have a guy now. We have a guy that we can just give the ball to, and he can go get a bucket. And that gravity, that changes the dynamic for a young coach so much because he doesn't have to draw a play up anymore. Now, when we come down to it and a bucket has to be had, we've got a guy you just go, all right, throw it into De'Aaron. Everybody stand over on the left-hand side. Let's see what goes.
And maybe in the grand scheme it doesn't matter, but for me it mattered that they won that game last night because had they lost that game, it would have been really heartbreaking because they built such a massive lead. Mm-hmm. So had they lost that game in the final seconds or it had gone to overtime, and let's face it, had it gone to overtime, the Spurs would have lost because,
they'd lost Mo.
I'm telling you now, from now on, if I bet on the Spurs, I'm betting the first half only. I don't want anything to do with the Spurs after halftime. I don't know if this is a Mitch thing and people are adjusting or he's unable to adjust to what's going on.
Well, it's the league. I mean, every game's got to run.
Yeah,
but it's withstanding.
It's every single game. It's like the Spurs start out looking great and then it falls apart late. And normally they lose those games. But I think winning that game last night was just from a mental standpoint was huge for this team, especially the first time out with De'Aaron. You want to have a good first impression. I think they did about as well as they could have last night.
It was as unstructured a game as the Spurs have won in a couple of years because, quite frankly, it was pickup late. I mean, they just had to De'Aaron go do something, and he and Chris Paul went and did things.
They asked Mitch last night about the comeback in the second half that the Hawks tried to make.
Yeah, we just talked about it. We didn't come out in the third quarter probably with the same resistance defensively. Let them get in the rhythm. They made some shots. They're a heck of an offensive team. 43-point quarter in that quarter. And then, you get your fans and you get momentum. I do think we showed some resolve, though. I don't believe we ever gave up the lead, which is hard to do. When a team typically comes back in that fashion, like you said, with that much momentum, sometimes it becomes a game of back and forth. I thought we did a good job of holding the fort just enough.
I mean, he's right. They did just enough to hold it. Here's a thing. Two things from the Brigade Bar. Hector says, has anybody asked Fox, has he talked to Pop already? I don't know that.
I guarantee you, yes.
I would assume he has. And Vince says, Pop who? It's Wemby's team. No, it's not. Wemby is still a baby. Wemby still clearly doesn't understand what it takes to win in the NBA.
And nor does he want this to be his team.
No. And I think that's the value of having Chris Paul on this team. And quite frankly, Harrison Barnes, too. And I would like to see the Spurs make a move. I hope it doesn't come at the expense of losing one of those two guys, because I really think they're more important than what they do in the stats
this year.
Yeah. That said, Mike says, what's Keldon's role? He only had 12 minutes.
I don't know,
It's going
man.
to be vastly diminished.
Well, I do think there's a place for him. But last night, because he was forced to play Chris Paul and De'Aaron at the same time, your substitution rhythm was a little off. And Keldon was the last domino of that. So he got in late.
But they only played 9 guys last night. So they need his body out there.
And
but
he played okay. He just got in late. He didn't. I even kept track. He came in for the first time right about the 3-minute mark of the first quarter, I think. It was there were about 8 minutes gone, right in there. He normally would have come in maybe 2 minutes earlier. It was just a delayed process because they were kind of running some sets just to let De'Aaron do some things. And for a minute there, when he did come in, and that crew was – everybody knew each other, that was when we looked our best. That second quarter last night was a pretty impressive quarter.
Oh, it really was.
I mean, and only part of that was De'Aaron. We were just slicing and dicing them with the offense after De'Aaron sat down and watched what the offense is supposed to look like.
Yeah. And this Rind saying, remember when people thought Malachi Branham was a great shooter, steady DNPs? I don't know that. First of all, Malachi is one of the few guys when he is on the floor that I trust to shoot a little bit. And he's shooting like 39% from 3, which is, I mean, far better than anybody else on this team. But he shouldn't be on the floor. He's just a guy.
Get used to speaking of Malachi and Blake in the past tense.
Yeah, he's not for this team, especially now the future backcourt of this team is Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, it's a logjam at guard now.
Yeah.
It is, and sadly now the third string point guard is either Wemby or Sohan. I mean, that's kind of where we are.
Well, I mean, if you don't count Chris Paul.
Yeah, well, Chris Paul is omnipresent. Sometimes there's other point guards on the court. He's still out there, but really by design, the third string point guard now that Trey is gone is the big man that first touches the ball, whether that be Wemby or Sohan. That's our third string point guard.
That's what it is, and it's no. I mean, and when people thought Malachi Branham was a good 3-point shooter was when he was in college. And it's a lot easier to hit threes at Ohio State than it is in the NBA.
That's a term that I always get in trouble for, but he's the tallest little person in the room. I mean, it's easy to look good against those guys.
Yeah, the truth is now, if you are the way to get minutes on this team is to be a wing that can shoot, or a big man that can, like I said, do big man things.
I'll tell you,
and if not, there's not really room for you.
While we think of the ramifications of Fox, and there's going to be some consequences and some benefits that we haven't even looked at yet. The experts have, but we haven't. I think Julian Champagnie, over the next couple of months, is in a position to really benefit his career. I mean, and if you look at the history of the Spurs, there's always been that guy that kind of worked. Jonathan Simmons was the last, and prior to that there were others, that was here at the right time, at the right place, and started hitting shots to get himself paid. And I think that watching him last night being the recipient of De'Aaron Fox's gravity, and he hit a couple of wide open threes, and he's our best shooter when given the opportunity. He really is. We might look for
him and Barnes.
Barnes goes without saying. But when, Champagnie is the surprising three-pointer, I think over the next couple of months he could really benefit and really going to play a role with this team because there's going to be so many open shots.
I think so too. And you've essentially decided, because you are now married to Steph Castle and De'Aaron Fox, you've decided we're going with a backcourt of guys who can't really shoot, which means
they can score, but they just can't shoot.
Yeah, we need if you're a guy who can shoot and is going to be left out there alone and can knock down open shots, which is, I mean, that's literally how Harrison Barnes made money in Golden State, because it's like, well,
Stand in the corner and wait.
Everybody else has to be covered. You just stand there, and if you can make an open shot, you're going to be all right. Made Harrison Barnes a lot of money playing on the team with Steph and Clay. But like you call it, the gravity of Steph and De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, there is an opportunity out there for a guy who can make some shots. I think Harrison Barnes is going to do that. And I think you're right. Champagnie does have a really good chance to be that guy.
You think about it, he's the third, fourth option. I got to do other stuff, and he can hit shots.
And all right, we got to take a break. I think what we saw last night really affects one other guy, and I don't know if it makes him expendable, but we have to talk about the future of this guy next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
I hope you woke up underneath a Connecticut water softened shower, began your day the right way. If that's you, carry on. You're doing things right. I'm talking to everybody else out there that might have gone with a less than stellar water softener, or maybe those that are in the market, or maybe you don't even have one. Oh, my goodness. South Texas, our water coming out of your well or the aquifer, it's filtered nice and makes some good sweet tea and some good light beer. But I'll tell you, the water leaves behind some sediment. You can feel it on your skin. If you've ever seen that white powder on your dishes, that's coming from the water. Now, it ain't the end of the world, but that stuff ends up piling up, sticking up, and before you know it, it's in your pipes, it's in your refrigerator, and things start going south. You don't want that. You also don't want to add a little bit of extra flavor into something that's already pretty good. That's where Connecticut comes in. A Connecticut water softener is unique in that you don't even plug in a Connecticut water softener. It works off kinetic energy. I don't know. It's science. I know it saves me money on power. I know I don't have to deal with that. My old water softener used to cycle through or do something twice a day, and I'd hear that thing running through, and no, my salt was melting, even though there was not a single appliance or sink running at the time. It's wasteful. I don't deal with that anymore. In fact, like I said, I don't even plug it in. It saved me salt, it saved me on power, and on the good side of it, it's never given me a problem. I've had this thing for years. I know I have a great warranty. I've just never had to use it. Now it's time for you to get the benefits like I've had. You got 90 days with no commitment. They'll come out and put one in there so you can find out what I'm talking about. Great financing right now. 0% for certain months, and if you're with qualified offers, man, you got that. And up to $400 for the water softener you don't even like. So give them a call today. The number is 656-PURE. The website is connecticusa.com. Go there for all the details. Know this. 90 days, no commitment, and a free reverse osmosis drinking station on your sink for taking advantage of the deal now. I don't know what you're waiting for. Call 656-PURE today. Get that Connecticut in your home, and you can come on by and thank me later.
Rise and hot! It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Deets Tractor. Score big with Deets Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm.
.com for details.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
When life changes fast, you need a lawyer who's been there. AJ here for the Hicks Law Firm. Attorney John Hicks offers unique experience as a veteran and first responder to give you a strategic, results-driven approach. Facing divorce, child custody battle, or a complex family dispute, the Hicks Law Firm offers flat-fee representation from beginning to end, so you know exactly what to expect with no surprises. Visit jhickslawfirm.com for a free consultation. That's jhickslawfirm.com, a local law firm with the national resources you need to win. The Hicks Law Firm.
Hey, it's James Pledger. Have you played Pick 6 from DraftKings? Well, you better get on it. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 to get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
I just heard the worst Bon Jovi impersonation parody type song ever from one James Pledger.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was awful. Because you almost made my ear bleed with that, you need to do that for the public.
Shouting through the heart, and you're to blame.
You give offenses a bad name.
Wow. Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right. Now, before the season started, and we were talking about the Spurs, and I was giving you my perspective as an outsider, which I still am. I mean, really, I'm not like I'm not some expert on the Spurs. I mean, I watch these games and I've got my opinions, but there were a lot of people when I gave my initial outsider opinion that did not like what I would say about Devin Vassell. That Devin was a good player, but I said, if Devin's the second best player on your team, you're never going to be good.
That's a true statement.
I agree completely still. And now I don't think Devin is even going to be the third best player on this team. So the question becomes, is he expendable for one of the things you actually need?
Yes, he was always expendable. But now there are 3 dudes that are unexpendable. Now there are 3. The list has grown.
Yeah.
Because it's now Devin and Stephen and Wemby, which feels like the 3.
I think
feels
so,
like we got our anchors. We feel like we got 3 potential All-NBA dudes that'll be on the court all the time. So once you got that, everything else becomes expendable. And now it's not even about talent.
It's about need.
It's about what fits.
Almost even to the point where it's about being a specialist at one of the things that they need.
Right. And Devin might very well probably is that guy. Now we were talking, Devin Vassell is a perfect 4th best guy on your team, ideally.
Sure.
I mean, because he still has upside and he still could be an all-star. You could be looking at 4 potential all-stars on this roster as we sit right now.
But from a need standpoint, does he do the things you need? And the answer is kind of no.
Kind of no, kind of yes. And then the other deciding factor now plays into how much am I going to have to pay you?
Right.
And how much can I get what you do for cheap next year? So now is where the witchcraft of building a championship team. It's easy to build a playoff team. You buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you build a championship team.
Yeah.
So now we're in the next step.
And I think as the day goes on, obviously the deadline's 3 o'clock today?
3 o'clock our time.
I think there's probably a lot of people who watched the game last night, a lot of people around the league who watched the game last night and said, boy, it sure feels like we can have Devin or Keldon today for a different price than we could have had them a week ago.
For more or less?
For less.
I don't agree with that because we have hand. I do think you can look at this team and go, well, we got 3 NBA All-Stars in 2 years. We could have 4. We're looking at really, Richard Jefferson said it, hey, NBA, this team is a lot closer than you might think, as maybe not mentally, but as far as manpower. A couple of key moves this year puts the Spurs in a top 5 situation next year, at least with your starting 5 plus 2 bench dudes. That's where they've become right now because they had to give up so little to go get De'Aaron. There wasn't the drain that was expected. They thought they would lose Devin, which would have been important to us, yes. They thought they'd lose Steph, which would have been huge, but we didn't lose either, and they still have the picks. And I think as the ramifications of the Luka trade start to die down and they start looking around at what really went down over this trade weekend, the ramifications long-term are going to be exemplified in what the Spurs did, far more than the Luka deal.
Yeah. I still am – I would really, really, really like to see the Spurs call the Nets about Cam Johnson. They might say no thanks.
Well, rumor has it they're calling the Nets. It's just not about Cam Johnson.
Why?
Nick Claxton is the dude.
Yeah.
Jeff Garcia locked on Spurs, which I appreciate him, and I want to give the shout out to what they do.
Former Niners quarterback Jeff Garcia.
But Jeff seems to think that there's been some calls and some reaction, and Jakob Poeltl from Toronto being the other. That seems to be where the Spurs, at least by his estimation, is where they're looking, and it would make some sense. I would not be upset with either. I know you can't fill every need immediately. That's one of them. It might not be my most pressing need, but you might not have access to a guy who can shoot and also fit your salary cap structure right now. You might have to wait until the summer to find that.
I think another guy that I've talked about a couple times and I would still be really interested in, and you don't want to give up a lot for this guy because his contract expires at the end of the year and he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid a lot, is Miles Turner. And I would like to, because when I talk about the things that Miles Turner does, I talk about a rim protector. I talk about a guy who can space like he does all the things that the Spurs kind of need. Not a great rebounder, but good enough. I would be willing to give something up to go through the end of this season with him and see how the fit is, and then decide if you want to pay that.
Are they shopping it?
I believe so. Because he's a free agent and he's not going to be there. Well, they're not going to bring him back.
He seems below. We've always coveted him, but I'll tell you, I don't think he's exactly what I'm looking for. You know, I feel like now we're looking for specialists. I don't need a jack of all trades. I've got a Miles Turner. He's a poor man's version. His name is Jeremy Sohan. I got a poor man's version of that. I love Miles Turner, and I'd trade Sohan for Turner right now. But
Sohan can't shoot like Miles Turner.
I agree, but I'm talking about now we got to be realistic here. You're only really allowed by the salary cap to have truly 3 great players.
Yeah.
I mean, and judging by what I saw, unless we get tired of, no, we got our 3. It's there. This is it.
But remember, Steph Castle won't be well paid for several years. Wemby's not even going to be well paid for several years. And Miles Turner is 28 now.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay him, by the time he's on the way out, there's going to be plenty of time. Now you can pay those kids.
I'm planning for who am I going to be on my roster in 4 years. I don't think Miles Turner would be on my roster in 4 years. Maybe he would be. Maybe.
I think he could. I'm telling you, he's going to get paid by somebody. And I was reading this. 5 players in the history of the NBA have at least 1,300 blocks and 600 three-pointers, and he's one of them.
Yeah. He was a worthy aspiration. Would you want to come and be the 4th? I mean, there's a lot of, now the dynamics of what this team are it's entirely different. We know who the cornerstones are going to be. Now it's pieces and parts and good drafting and appropriate veterans to get to the next step. And man, oh man, you get Miles Turner in the building, things change even quicker.
And when I say Miles Turner, like if you can give up something little to get him, and maybe you keep him, maybe you don't for the rest of the year.
He's a cost though, man.
But maybe at the end of the year you don't pay him to keep him around, but at least kick the tires and see what kind of a fit he is with the guys you've got. And if it is a good fit, then you consider it.
I'm still of the mind I never let anything leave.
Yeah.
I'm never going to let anything walk out the door without value. And this might be an appropriate time. Man, I do like him. I sit back and go, I can't believe this number 4 is here. I just can't believe it. This is more astounding to me the further we get away from the deal than even getting LaMarcus.
Yeah.
I mean, getting LaMarcus required everybody to fly out and convince him and cajole him and take him to lunch and do all this other kind of stuff. This guy just wants to be here.
Now, yeah, which is a weird thing.
He just chose us. We didn't have to convince. We didn't have to raise. We didn't have to do anything other than say, yeah, come on. And we're not going to send you very much to get you.
They did that Locked On Spurs. Did they mention Vucevic at all?
That was the 2 that they mentioned. I didn't listen to the entire one. I know that for a fact my son, Jack, who's on the Locked On, is a huge Vooch fan, so I guarantee you they did talk about it.
And I know they could get him for cheap because the Bull, like he and the Bulls, their timeline as of now doesn't line up at all. He's 34. The Bulls have no interest in winning right now. That's why they got their pick back. They don't want to win. They're trying to lose right now.
I concur. And what did Sissoko to the Wizards basically for their big post? That was nothing.
What? Yeah. Why did the Spurs do that?
Well, it just tells you that they're not in the market for that dude anyway, because that was a song and a dance
Then that means they're probably not looking for Vooch either.
You don't know. It might be just a personality thing with him, but it just showed me that there was absolutely no interest because that's a deal we could have made on our own.
Cow Music essay says Aldridge, waste of space and money, set us back even more than number 2. I disagree.
I disagree. He was a life
and you know
preserver.
What it did? It also made people look at San Antonio like a place where real free agents would actually go.
Right. He was a life preserver. He saved us. I mean, because we were about to sink. If there wouldn't have been a free agent that show up as Tim was stepping out, it would have been awful.
And Claymore, we agree on this. The big man has become so valuable again. I really believe that. I think the NBA is shifting back to where it is good to have a big man who does big man. Now, these sexy step-out stretch bigs, they're still cool. But I think it is a real luxury if you have a big man who does big man things.
I think you guys are trying to hold on to something that is going away,
I think it goes in cycles. Comes back, baby. I think it's coming back.
For the sake of the big, plodding white dude that can throw a hook shot, I hope so. I hope so, because it doesn't seem to be working for him right now.
When we come back, we'll kick around everything that happened yesterday and look at what might happen today for the trade deadline around the league. Jimmy Butler's got a new team. We'll talk about that. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1. I got to tell you about Carbach Brewing, baby. Guys, if you are wondering, what am I going to drink Super Bowl Sunday? Well, done. I know we're going to be drinking at Rob's house. We're going to be drinking Crawford Bock. We're going to be drinking some Love Street. That's what we're going to be drinking. I don't know about you guys, but that's what we're going to be drinking. And they've got something for everybody. If you're saying, well, I'm looking for an IPA, Hopadillo, their ultra hopped in your face IPA, excellent choice, friends. And the Hoplectic, which is their seasonal, which is out all over San Antonio now. Give it a try. Fantastic recipe, very well balanced. something that you're probably going to enjoy. And while you're out, you'll see the Ziegenbach in its brand new packaging, 12-pack cans all over town. And guys, like I said, there's something for everybody in their lineup. Even if you're looking for the non-alcohol stuff, like some of you had New Year's resolutions, it's February. Maybe you're sticking to them. I kind of doubt it, but maybe you are. The Free and Easy is a great alternative to the alcohol beers. So, guys, check them out on the socials and see what the latest beers are that are popping up for Karbach. But they're all over San Antonio, man. All over the grocery stores, all over the liquor stores, and all over bars and restaurants. So when you're out and about, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Karbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Pretty much most all our major freeway systems now starting to slow down, getting a little bit more volume out on the roadways. Now, we do have a stall at 35 southbound Olympia Parkway that's in the left lane. That's causing a 20-minute delay. That's what has you slow from FM 1103. On 35 southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez downtown, we've got the roadway reduced to one lane, and 35 southbound 35 lower upper level split at I-10. That's rolling stop and go due to that road work. Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Jackson Hewitt. It matters who does your taxes. Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song. Get your max tax refund guaranteed, and new customers get $100 to switch. Don't miss the boat. Book an appointment with experts today. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Wow! Most cars and pickup trucks can have a ceramic film installed by the experts at Mother's Window Tint starting at just $199. That's an incredible price. If you shop around, you'll find that competitors charge hundreds of dollars more. Plus, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Mother's Window Tint offers up to 60 different film options to fit all price ranges. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has been known as the home of the tint and alarm special. If you're looking to enhance your vehicle security to the highest level, visit Mother's Window Tint today, where security systems start at just $3.99. Call us at 210-496-3454. That's 210-496-3454. Or visit us online at motherswindowtint.com. And remember, do it at Mothers and save!
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone, and even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Super Bowl 59.
I like this kind of party.
The Philadelphia Eagles face the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 5:30. The Chiefs, led by MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes, aims for an unprecedented third consecutive Super Bowl victory, a feat never achieved in NFL history. Meanwhile, the Eagles, with a formidable defense and a dynamic offense, are ready to challenge the reigning champions. Don't miss a moment of this historic matchup, presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Sunday at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for Super Bowl 59.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
X to the Z.
Why?
Why? All right. The NBA saw some trades go down yesterday. May still see some today. The biggest one was old Jim Butler has found himself a new home.
And a new deal. Got 2 years, 111.
Good for Jim.
It's gonna be weird, man.
I'm curious what you think of. I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't know how this works.
So here is the gist of the trade. Jimmy Butler is headed to the Golden State Warriors.
To do what exactly?
I don't know.
Be a tough guy.
The Heat get. This is a 4-team trade. The Heat get Kyle Anderson, PJ Tucker, Andrew Wiggins.
There you go.
And a protected first-round pick.
Yeah, it's those two.
The Pistons get Lindy Waters III and Josh Richardson, and the Jazz get Dennis Schroeder.
I like the Josh Richardson pickup.
What the Heat get is away from Jimmy Butler. Andrew Wiggins still has potential.
No, I think that's might have been the linchpin of the deal. At least
honestly,
there's some future there.
That's why I don't understand this deal for the Warriors.
I don't get it.
I mean, if you told me you can have either Andrew Wiggins or Jimmy Butler on your team for the next 2 years, I'd take Andrew Wiggins.
Well, it tells me Steve Kerr doesn't think he's going to be here in a couple of years.
I think that's what it tells me.
I mean, you did what? Okay. They're going to play pickup big man, big tough guy basketball for the next couple of months, and it might be fun, but I don't see any titles coming this way.
I'm honest. I'm so over Jimmy Butler and trying to pretend like he's still some top tier guy.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is.
He's a guy who's had a couple good playoff runs.
He is a difference maker, and those are hard to come by. I mean, he really is. Let's not discount what he was and what he's become, but he is still one of those few guys in the world that can go by himself and win a basketball game. Even at this age, even now, it might not happen.
When's the last time you saw it?
Well, I know it can happen because I've seen him do it.
I mean,
it might not happen as often.
Andrew Wiggins do it recently.
And that's why I said that was the linchpin of this deal. It wasn't anything other than the picks or nothing. It was Wiggins has potential and could, under the right tutelage that Spoelstra and Riles, could fit in really well with some of those younger dudes.
Then why do this if you're the Warriors? What's the upside for you?
I don't understand. I don't get this other than, hey, Steph, I gave it a shot. This is all I could do. That's literally the only thing I could come up with this, because the flow, there is a style of basketball that Golden State plays that is regardless of player. There's a style. And there's a style of basketball that Jimmy Butler plays, and it ain't the Golden State style. I mean, he's a ball dominant, slow it down, let's find it, mid-range, after a couple of picks, I'm gonna defend you off the shot, They don't do that in Golden State. They move the ball quickly. You got to react and be willing to play point guard to 4 in your role every time you're down the court. It's going to be a tough adjustment, and by the time they figure it out, Draymond's going to be gone. This 2-year deal, I don't know. It seems like a last gasp, but like a desperate move just to stay relevant for just a couple of more months.
I don't really get it. And I know Jimmy Butler wanted to go to the Suns, although now the rumors are now that KD may be on his way out of Phoenix. Like, they tried to move Bradley Beal. They literally couldn't find a single team that was willing to take Bradley Beal. So instead of just holding pat, they're like, well, let's trade Kevin Durant then, which is kind of a weird thing, but okay.
You know what? Pay attention to what's in Dallas, man. I still can't imagine the Dallas Mavericks are done.
I think also pay attention to Houston.
Yeah, you know what? That was the most interesting rumor that popped around last night.
Yeah, and I think there may be like some now I will say I think Houston's got.
It just seems so far-fetched. I can't
really
imagine making that move, although they've got the pieces and parts to go get a Kevin Durant.
You'd have to give up one of those good young pieces.
At least one, probably two.
But it is as good as I think guys like Amin Thompson is going to be and Jalen Green, whatever.
Those are the two I'd want right there. If I'm Phoenix, I want those two.
I'm not giving you both of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think it's going to happen in Houston.
But I also think if you're able to get one of them, that's better than anything Dallas could offer.
Yeah. Right now, it's Kevin Durant's choice. If he wants out, Kevin Durant will get out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he'll go wherever he wants to go because obviously Phoenix has realized, even if there's a potential for him to leave, that there's a crack in this foundation and it's over. If you're just even letting him talk about it, letting him say, no, I'm not going to Golden State, don't even try, means you're talking to him about it.
Yeah. Claymore says AJ Mavs can't get KD luxury tax per Ryan McDonough on Sirius XM.
Oh, it's okay.
I mean, well, as the Warriors have proven, luxury tax is only what you want it to be.
Yeah, Sheldon Adelson.
I don't know that he's too worried about money, but I don't know. The way that, going back to the Warriors and the Heat deal, and the biggest thing that came out of this was apparently Kevin Durant was not interested in returning to the Warriors.
Yeah, which
I was surprised to hear that.
Well, it feels like he'd be returning to the scene of the crime, where the theft, and there's also the negative of him blowing out his Achilles in that uniform too.
So if I told you that Jimmy Butler is scoring at the lowest average since 2013 at age 35, do you think that's more due to him being unhappy in Miami or due to him being 35 years old?
Both. He's 35. Yeah, there's obviously tread gone from the tire. He's not what he was, but he is still a guy. He's still like Barkley when he arrived in Phoenix. He's a threat, and he could go off at any moment and could do it for 2 or 3 different games. I mean, he's still that. Is it waning? Absolutely, but that's why Miami was willing to let him go because he's waning, and that's why Golden State was willing to pay for it because they see it too. I mean, it's possible. I would say very improbable it's going to be successful, but at least they know they've got 3 all-NBA types to head toward the playoffs to wind this thing down.
My biggest question, if you're the Warriors, is because all I heard about the Warriors going into the deadline was the Warriors are looking to add another shooter, and they are looking to add someone who's a strong defender, which, okay.
I got a little bit of both.
But you also, I mean, Jimmy Butler's a worse shooter than Andrew Wiggins was. So,
But no, you're right. He's not a shooter. He's a scorer. Big difference. So, no, he is not what Golden State needed.
And defensively, I mean, Andrew Wiggins was one of the better defenders they had on that team. Like, it's a weird package to trade when
Golden State's going to go out with a bang, not a whimper. That's it. I mean, this is Dallas. They're doing the same thing Dallas did, but with one dude. This is a short-term fix for a long-term situation. I mean, the 2-year $111 million was shut-up money.
The one thing I will give to the Warriors here is if they really believe they're going to make a push, I think we can all agree this is the last hurrah of this Warriors team, whatever it ends up being. What you have is you've added another guy who is, I mean, Draymond Green certainly falls into this. Steph is always great, but Jimmy Butler and Draymond are guys who are B-level players in real life and A-level playoff players.
Yeah.
And so those are the guys you're looking for. If you're going to try to make a run, those guys have proved they have a history of playing a lot better in the playoffs than they do in the regular season.
They win knife fights. I mean, those guys have been through the battles, and that's what they're here for. This is going out with a bang, not a whimper. You got 2 years of a little bit, and then this whole thing's done. And they've already lit the fuse. That $111 million thing is going to come due soon.
We'll talk about the Brandon Ingram trade on the other side. We'll also get into the Super Bowl. There's a football game going on this weekend. We'll talk about that, too. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
That guy pulled out in front of me out of nowhere. The police are on their way, but I'm really shaken up.
Don't worry. We're going to get you taken care of. You made the right call.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck, call Davis Law Firm at 444-4444. We're ready to help day or night, and there's no fee unless we win.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The best app for your big game party is actually on your phone. It's called Underdog. Jason Minix here from the Blitz, and Texas sports fans, good news for you. Underdog is available to play in Texas. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the big game. Be like me and many others playing the Pick'em game. And with the Underdog Pick'em game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher, lower on player stats. They've got all the leagues. They've got all the stars to choose from. Create entries with all the football picks or mix and match across other sports. And Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. You can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with promo code STAR, deposit now, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on SingleCare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to SingleCare.com or download the free app today.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we've got a new trouble spot. I-10 westbound approaching Ackerman. East side of town, an accident. It's causing about a 15-minute delay, slow from FM 1516. On 35, lower level southbound. 35, lower upper level split on over to I-10. Traffic is rolling stop and go. That's due to all that road work that's going on downtown at 35 southbound Martin Street on over to Cesar Chavez. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs beat the Hawks last night, 126-125, in De'Aaron Fox's San Antonio debut. He scored 24 points and a franchise record 13 assists in his Spurs entry. Wemby was along for the ride, but he offered 24, including the game-winning free throw. Up next, the Spurs continue the Rodeo road trip in Charlotte. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Halfway there. Living on a prayer, Rob. Living on a prayer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
8 o'clock on the Morning Huddle. 94.1. AJ and Rob trying to get you through a Thursday. I don't know what you guys will be watching this weekend. Maybe there's a football game on we could see.
Sunday, maybe some good commercials we can catch.
I really think there is a fatigue because this is the least a Super Bowl's been hyped in some time. And I really think it's because it's the fatigue of this. It's the same old teams. It just feels like it's the same teams every year, and people are tired of it. And we were talking before the show how huge it could have been for the league for either Josh Allen or Jaden Daniels to be in the Super Bowl, because those guys, like Josh Allen is a playoff win over Mahomes away from becoming an A-list super mega star in the NFL. He's got all the personality.
I think he jumps out of the NFL at that point. You know what I mean? He is no longer just an NFL quarterback. He is a superstar.
I think
plays
so too.
Football.
And by the way, I think Joe Burrow could do the same thing if Joe Burrow can win a Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels, if Jaden Daniels could have made the Super Bowl his first year, I mean, that would have been as big of a jump start jolt to an NFL career for a star as you could have had.
If it could have been him playing at the same time Mahomes was trying to seal up his third and GOAT, and Jaden Daniels, who obviously is the next, playing against him. Yeah, there are plenty of plot lines, and the NFL went, okay, we'll go with the Kansas City three-peat, the entrance to greatness, the plateau that they would reach that no one thought we'd ever see. And we don't care.
And we'll go again, and we'll put them up against a team built on defense and run game.
Because, well, exactly, and a robot quarterback. But, New England sustained because I grew to hate them.
Yeah.
And I would watch and cheer for dudes I hated because they could beat New England. I cheered for Eli Manning.
Dude, I'm telling you.
A couple of times just to beat them. And that's enough. That drew the needle. That moved it. No, I don't care. Kansas City win. I don't care.
You know how hard – I mean, listen, as a Bills fan, I hate the Chiefs right now. I hate them. I don't hate them the same way I hated the Patriots.
Right. I'm not rooting against them. I just don't really care.
But I also I've got no interest in rooting for this Eagles team either.
No.
They're not fun. I don't like their coach. I don't like their quarterback. I do like Saquon, which gives me something to cheer for.
And I like Kelsey, even though he's not even an Eagle anymore. But, there's some likableness in it. Man, if their quarterback was just half-ass interview, just half-ass personality, this would be so much different, because then you'd start pulling the underdog card. And I don't even...
But I think that's part of it for me is I don't have any, other than I'll have a wager on this game. other than that, I don't have anybody to cheer for. I don't really care. I don't care about either of these teams. Like I'm just disinterested.
And I would care enough to cheer against Tom Brady and tune in and actively cheer against him. I'm not going to cheer against Pat Mahomes. I'm not anti-Pat getting all three. I'm just kind of bored with it.
Yeah, it is whatever. We'll do more NFL here in a minute. I did promise to talk about the other big deal that went down yesterday, or the other big deals that went down yesterday. The Toronto Raptors got themselves, and I don't know if I would assume this is good for Brandon Ingram, especially now that you saw Jimmy Butler sign an extension. So if you're looking for that type of a player, Brandon Ingram now becomes like, oh, well, I guess if we're going to sign one, it's got to be him.
He's a bucket.
My guess is Brandon Ingram is about to get an extension with Toronto. They give up Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, a first-rounder and a second-rounder. Brandon Ingram, I think his biggest issue is health. But when he's been on the floor, much like his other Pelican buddy, Zion, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, pretty damn good defines Brandon Ingram.
He's hardly ever on the floor.
Pretty damn good.
And he's an unrestricted free agent this summer.
I like him. Pretty damn good. Can I trade him? Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you move him? Yeah, I'd move him.
Of course. Pelicans also traded Daniel Tice and a 2031 second-round pick to the Thunder for cash considerations. They basically were dumping money.
Well, Tice is going to augment that front line.
No, I think so, too.
That mattered.
At least until Chet gets back.
Yeah, well, even with him. Tice is a stout defender. He mattered. That was a good move for them.
So, Pelicans sellers. The Lakers.
An admission of failure.
This is a bit of a surprise move. The Lakers trade Dalton Knecht, their rookie, and Cam Reddish for Mark Williams of the Charlotte Hornets, who's a guy I kind of like. I liked for the Spurs, actually.
He's a runner. He's a lobber.
He is certainly what you think of as a guy to run with Luka.
He's a lobber. He'll go to the rim. He'll beat up anybody who touches Luka.
Yeah.
The only problem with Mark is he's got to play. You got to be healthy.
But apparently JJ and Mark Williams, they vibed when he was at Duke.
He's a Dookie, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
a smart guy too. He's Aggie for a minute.
So, but again, another guy who's been kind of hurt.
Yeah. That was what they had to do. That was an absolute necessity for the team that they went and got. To me, it was they drafted Dalton Knecht, and I think they realized, I don't know what the plan was for him and Austin Reeves.
I
don't know where that always falls. For them to coexist, but you could tell from the first week they could never be on the court at the same time because both of them are such defensive liabilities.
Yeah.
I mean, I recall the first Laker game for the Spurs, and Stephen Castle just ripped Austin Reeves a new one. I mean, just couldn't wait to get down the court to play him. And it just told me that there's no way those two can survive. Knecht's will benefit from this. He's going to be in a position now to go do what he can do, and that's shoot the ball a lot.
Yeah. And now he's also going to be low down on the options list because LaMelo is very ball dominant, and Brandon Miller is going to warrant getting the ball a lot. But Dalton Knecht started out the season looking like this dude was going to be a player. He's had 6 games this season where he made 4 or more three-pointers in the game. Those 6 games where he made 4 or more three-pointers, 5 of them came in November.
Yeah.
So he's just kind of
the film was
stagnated.
I mean, he was a speed bump. He just wasn't. There's just not a lot of defense there, and part of that's the Lakers' fault. There was nobody behind him to protect him. Anthony Davis was elsewise occupied a lot of times, so it was a situation that I think it's an admittance of, we probably drafted the wrong dude.
And now there is the big question of what happens with Kevin Durant. I don't know for sure. I don't know if they're able to move him. I don't know what it would take to move him.
How active would you be as a general manager of a mid-level basketball team, one that's right where the teams that would be looking for him? How active would you be to even – certainly you'd take a call. But are you calling Phoenix today for Kevin Durant? Is anybody?
Somebody is.
You think somebody's calling today?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Kevin Durant, listen, if people call about Jimmy Butler.
Well, ended up the worst thing that could have happened, or the best thing considering for Kevin Durant, is the deal that Butler got. Because it really, at the end of the day, it was one dude. Really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So maybe Durant's value went down, and I make that call today. But I'm not, you're shaking the apple cart pretty hard when you bring in Kevin Durant. And Butler's the same thing, but the thing that's different there is there's already Steph Curry and Draymond. You're not going to go poking Draymond in the eye. I don't care who you are. I mean, Butler can do some things on some weak teams. He's not going to walk into that Golden State locker room and conking heads like he did in Chicago. That's not going to happen. They're bigger stars in that room. Other situations, the stardom's kind of equal. You bring in Kevin Durant, he owns the locker room.
I saw today. As I was reading in the last break, it looks like the Rockets are out now. They're not interested.
It's a lot to give up. I would be very curious how far the talks went, if there were in fact some talks, because I have a feeling when you look around the West and you go, things are in flux now. One dude in this young team, especially the way we've been playing over the last 2 weeks, it'd have been hard to say no to an offer. I just wonder what was the final.
Now, I did see a story, this was on Fox Sports, where it mentioned the San Antonio Spurs as a team that could be a target for the Kevin Durant.
That's crazy.
It says Victor Wembanyama is a 1 of 1. He's now been paired with an all-star caliber point guard and a dynamic scorer in Fox. Throw Durant in between the two stars, and the Spurs have an elite scoring trio with 3 players who can score in a variety of ways. What would be unique about this trio is that it's 3 players at vastly different career points, which is true. Durant is 36, Fox just entering his prime, and Wemby's only 21. San Antonio could send Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Blake Wesley, 2 first-rounders and 2 second-rounders to Phoenix for Durant.
I don't want it.
You don't want that?
No.
I think I do.
I don't.
Because, again, by the time it's time to pay Steph Castle and Wemby, KD's gone. And KD provides you right now.
Oh, you're going to make a valid point.
He provides you right now with a shooter that you desperately need.
Yeah, but with everything that he does takes away from everything that I want Wemby to do sooner. I got a plan for Wemby. I'm not going to interrupt it by some other dude that's going to come in and lead me in scoring. I want Wemby to lead me in scoring. That's the plan. That's what we're going to do. And he's going to do it in ways that have not been done before. We're going to figure it out as we grow. I'm not going to go spend a bunch of money for a mercenary. I don't need him. I don't have to desperately go get a title this year or next. I certainly don't want to spend the hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars it would take to get him. I don't think the Spurs are – now, if it was 2 years from now and the Spurs are hanging around right at, 6th seed, yeah, we're talking. But right now, do we really need to jump into the fast lane? Seriously? After just last night, we had one dude.
It seems like with what you got with Fox, you're already saying yes.
I've already got what I need. I agree with what you're saying. And, man, that looks good. And the other part of that, if I'm James Jones, do I just want to hand you a title?
Here's Wemby. They asked if trading for Fox speeds up the timeline that they're working on.
Yeah, it sure brings an interesting perspective, and I think that our goals for this season are even more attainable. So it's we gotta use all our strengths, and we just added the big strength.
I'll say this. If the Spurs did trade Devin and Keldon and some picks for Kevin Durant today, and I think the Spurs become a serious. Now I'll say this: the Spurs aren't better than the Thunder, even with that core. But there's nobody else that I'm like, the Spurs can't beat that team. Like I think the Spurs could beat anybody in a series, except maybe the Thunder if they went and did that.
Well, if you did that, you better be able to beat the Thunder. You know what I mean? You better make that move going, that's the right reason we'll beat the Thunder. If you don't think you can even get out of the West, why are you doing the deal?
I mean, and again, any given series, But that if I were power ranking teams after that trade, I don't know that I'd put anybody ahead of them other than the Thunder.
I don't want to get caught up in everybody else is doing stuff, we got to do it too. I like the idea, but now we're getting into realms where you're playing with nitroglycerin and this whole thing could blow up. I mean, somehow Wemby feels slighted because he ain't getting the ball. I don't know what could happen, but I know Kevin Durant, normally by the time he leaves a team, it's time for him to go.
And that could be the case here too, and that's fine.
Oh man,
he didn't have to be here forever.
Just to think that that's even in the realm of possibilities, it opens up a place that I don't think that you should even start to consider. I really don't, because the successful teams, any successful organization is willing to pivot, but for the most part, plans their work and works their plan. Knows what they're good at, knows what they're going to get good at, knows what they'll never be good at, and knows what they're bad at that they got to fix. And you fix it by steps, and you build things that are not reliant on one thing, 1 year, one check. And once you do the Kevin Durant, we're going to pay through our nose for a couple of years. I just don't know.
You just saw it last night when we said, how do you choose who to defend with those two guys? Now imagine you add a guy who can score from anywhere on the floor.
In my experience over the years, the moment you go from being a pig and turning into a hog, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. It just bites you in the ass, man. Just fatten up your pig. Don't go buy the hog, man. Just fatten up your pig. You'll be ready soon enough.
Because I believe this also. I think KD, and we've seen this prior, doesn't have to be the stand outside three-point shooter. Kevin Durant will gladly be the guy who scores at the basket, which, the Spurs, again, need someone to do that too.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes along with that, man.
I can't believe you're so against this.
I'm not against it, but I am against it. I have somebody who actually could be better than Durant. That if I do things right, it will be Durant plus X if I do it right. And if I add a Durant to this mix, what does that do to my plan? What does it do? Does it change the reason I brought in De'Aaron Fox? Is it another ball-dominant dude that demands 18, 30 shots a game? There's so many parts of this that I'm not even sure I want to deal with. I just got to get Wemby. I got to add 15 pounds to Wemby and get him working on a post move. And I got to worry about making sure Durant gets, it just seems like a lot to ask for a team that, quite frankly, I didn't expect a whole lot from this year, and we already seem to be winning. Why pile on to a team that might very well be good enough without him?
Well, we know we know what the ceiling is without him. You put I don't know that you can put a ceiling on him with KD.
I don't know, but I know that he's been other places that they said the same thing when he walked in the door. Like, once we put him here, my gosh. And more teams than not have let him go, going, well, it was a worthy effort, and we're not mad at it, but it just didn't work out.
Well, it's funny because I think when he left the Nets, I don't think KD at the Nets was a failure. I think the players the Nets chose to put around him ended up being a disaster.
Yeah.
The Kyries and things like it was nothing of KD's doing. You can make the argument the same argument for the Suns.
So you're telling me the only time he can win is when he's playing next to Steph Curry?
He had some pretty good success when he was in Oklahoma City too. Let's not forget that.
But no rings.
Rings are hard to come by. You know that,
right? It just seems like that would be superfluous. You're gilding the lily. You already got your team. Why are you going to do more?
If no one says, well, look at the team success when they talked about De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox played on a bunch of garbage teams. No one cares.
One team.
Okay, but it was
never a Merc.
It's been garbage.
Well, he's been. Let's be real. Everywhere Durant landed, they were saying the same things that we're saying right now. Think about what they could do, and this and that and that. And when he left Brooklyn, well, that didn't work. Phoenix now with Devin Booker around him and other All-NBA types, well, that hasn't worked. So, at some point, it is you. It's not everybody else.
Ram says, I'd rather add Cam Johnson than KD. I would too, but first of all, I don't know if Cam Johnson's available.
But evidently
and the timeline would be nice, but if you want to be good right now, KD gives you a chance to. KD is the only guy that's available right now that gives you a chance to contend in the next year or two.
Yeah, there's some baggage though.
I get it.
Yeah, there's some baggage.
All right. Gilbert says KD's overpriced. He's Dak Prescott. I don't think he's that.
There's a difference. One has a title and the other one doesn't.
Also, KD's a 40% three-point shooter.
And
like,
a surefire Hall of Famer, one of the greatest offensive weapons ever to set foot on any court.
If not the greatest offensive player.
So, yeah, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah,
that's
unfair.
I'm not in the market.
All right, let's hit a break, and when we come back, we'll jump into the NFL. I got to tell you guys about Cerebral, and if you are one of these people who, if you find yourself trying to keep up with the Joneses, playing the comp game, I get it. It's you see all these pictures of people with their picture-perfect families, picture-perfect lives, great vacations, great jobs on the Instagrams and the TikToks, and you go, oh, man, what's going on with me? How come I can't be there? Listen, man, it's hard to get wrapped up. It's hard not to get wrapped up in what other people are doing. What about focusing on you? And if you spend some 45 minutes a day or a week, whatever, focused on how you're doing, it can make a big difference. And at Cerebral, they make it easier than ever to access dedicated therapists and doctor-prescribed medication that's personalized for you to help you in your mind. Who cares what's going on with everybody else? In fact, 72% of the people say they felt better in just 12 weeks. And Cerebral, the best part here, they offer in-network care, so you can focus on feeling better without worrying about the cost. If you're dealing with stress, anxiety, you wish you were more present. You wish you were better around your kids. You wish that your relationship with your wife was better. You wish you were sleeping better. They can help with all of that stuff, man. And I'm a believer in therapy. I've done it before. I'm a backer. I'm a supporter of therapy. Go out there and get some help. Talk to someone who can make your life better, man. What's the harm? Don't be embarrassed about this thing. Mental health is a real thing. Cerebral makes mental health care easy, accessible, and affordable. They've got an in-network provider, so they're working with your insurance plans, helping to lower the cost so you can get the help that you really need. Cerebral's proud to be an official sponsor of the Spurs, just like the athletes prioritize their physical health, mental health, just as important. And Cerebral's here to help you build a strong foundation for your overall well-being. Take the first step right now. What are you waiting for? Visit Cerebral.com. See how affordable and accessible mental health care can be with insurance. Cerebral, make time for mind time.
What if every Valentine's Day gift you bought earns something back for yourself? Well, it can if you shop Macy's One Day Sale. You can save 40 to 60% on fine jewelry, designer handbags, and more. Plus, you can earn faster during Star Money bonus days this weekend only. Let our gift guide help you find the perfect gift for the loves in your life and earn Star Money for yourself. What's not to love? But don't wait. It's all happening tomorrow at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply, including gift card services and fees.
I'm at a smoothie bar, asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings here.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Trump said no more censorship and immediately called the big boss at iHeart. I said, hey, I want to be the first one to drop an F-bomb on FCC radio. Right. And he wrote back, you already have. And he's like, we've got a document of it. But I said, I want to be the first one to do it, legally.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's James Pledger. If you play Pick 6 from DraftKings, well, you better get on it. It's Super Bowl 59, the last time to play NFL Pick 6 this season. As the official daily fantasy sports partner of the NFL, DraftKings does fantasy sports like nobody else. Play for better payouts on Pick 6. It's super easy to get started. Just select 2 or more players, choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like touchdowns, yardage, sacks, and more. And DraftKings is making it even sweeter for first-timers. New Pick 6 customers play $5 to get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Win more cash on Pick 6. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and use code KTFM. That's code KTFM for new customers to play $5 and get $59 in Pick 6 credits. Only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus award is non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Having a party for the big game? Let Smoky Mo's handle the barbecue. Go with the Big Game Rib Party Pack. 3 pounds of delicious Smoky Mo's slow smoke ribs, plus sides. Or get the Tailgate Party Pack, a buffet in a box with brisket, turkey, sausage, and sides. Add in a Baker Bar Group Pack. The chopped baked potato bar is perfect for groups. Smoky Mo's is great Texas barbecue that will make your big game party super. Order online at SmokyMo'sBBQ.com. Smoky Mo's, the pit is lit.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, it is day 3 of our time here in New Orleans on Radio Row for the Super Bowl. It's Cowboys Day.
It really is. We'll start at 2:15 with the great Emmitt Smith.
Daryl Johnston's going to join us as well, plus one of the biggest hitters in the NFL.
Darren Woodson, plus a lot more here from Radio Row in New Orleans. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You're locked on The Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
The one thing I disagree with is that, like, anybody who, and there's a lot of people on the Brigade Bar saying this, like, KD is washed.
Well, he ain't what he was, but he ain't washed.
KD in his career has averaged 27.2 points per game on 50% field goal percentage. KD this year, 26.9 points per game on 52% field goals. He's a career 38.7% three-point shooter. This year he's shooting 39.8%. He is 6th in the league in scoring. KD is not washed. Like, he is still, especially on offense, a cheat code, realistically. There's no way to... There isn't a way to defend. There's not players who are built to defend Kevin Durant.
Well, we have the one guy.
He's too versatile.
We have the one guy genetically that was built to cover Durant. He's not ready yet.
Right.
But genetically, you have to be 7 feet tall, be able to slide as quick as any guard can, be able to defend a step-back three, and body him in the paint. Not a lot of guys in the world that can do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if Wemby, certainly not now, can body Durant in the paint, which is kind of weird. But
I mean, give him a couple pounds. But I mean, Durant ain't taking anybody out either. But no, we're arguing over something that, first of all, we have to act as if somebody would let this happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd hate to be James Jones and tell everybody, no, exactly what did you do? You traded Kevin Durant to the Spurs, who already had Wemby, De'Aaron Fox, and Chris Paul. You did that. You did that.
Yeah.
So I do think there's some peer pressure, but I'll go back to what we said earlier. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. We're not trying to win a title this year.
Yeah.
I know we looked really good last night, and our timeline has advanced a minute or two.
Well,
but there's still a lot of really good basketball teams. They're going to be better for us than us, even if we did everything right, even if we added Durant for the next 3 years. I mean, even if we added Durant today, we'd still be in a dogfight with Dallas. We'd lose to OKC. Minnesota still have something to say to us. There's still Joker and that big dude in Denver, and then we're not even talking about Luka and LeBron. Why are we fast forwarding? I mean, let's let them play it out. Let's build for our turn in about 2 years.
And the people who are like, well, he never wins. Remember, if KD's toe was not on the line, KD probably has a whole nother ring. I mean, you can make that argument, right?
Well, there's that. The Achilles. He's had some bad luck.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I understand that it would speed up the timeline severely, but he is also exactly what this team is missing.
Well, he's exactly what every team that's not winning a title is missing. Man, you're right. And I guess there's
if I told you could get a 40% three-point shooter who can score all over the floor.
And the more I've thought about it, there's also the mentality of a Spurs fan, like, oh, he wouldn't come here. We're not going to be able to do that. We won't do that. We won't even make the call. We wouldn't even try to even begin to put that together. But that's just how the Spurs have always been.
But if he did, remember we were talking earlier in the show about LaMarcus making this an actual real destination. If KD did come here, it's like all of a sudden, wow.
Well, I mean, we've already proven it. I mean, we got the dude yesterday. I mean, we already proven to ourselves, and I think that's for me as a lifetime, 30-year get kicked in the teeth at trade deadline, nothing going to happen, that kind of thing. When we finally get it happen, you go, can we do it again? I mean, that was great. It's been 30 years since anything like this has happened for me. It's been 20 since George Hill. I mean, it's really been that long since they actually made a move that actually had some gravity to it. And now we're going to go back to the apple tree. Like, hey, let's go get Durant.
Listen,
is there anybody else we can trade for?
The likelihood that it happens is slim, but it is. I'm firmly in the camp of go for it, dude.
If this was the exact team, and 2 years from now, say Chris Paul's the same age he is now, but 2 years from now, everybody's advanced 2 years up, and the Spurs say had won 7 more games than they had right now, and we were in 5th place.
Mm-hmm.
I'd do whatever I could to make the deal. At that point, I'd do whatever I can to make the deal because we're there. We've already moved into the neighborhood.
The gap between 2nd and 10th place is so little.
That's the thing about right now. When I said the Rockets, it would be a great move for the Rockets because there is a lot of rubble in the West. But the Rockets are 2 years ahead of us.
The Rockets, you have to give up core pieces. They're like.
Yes, two core pieces.
For the Spurs to do this, they wouldn't have to give up a core piece.
Well, we don't know that yet. I mean, Devin might be a core piece. I don't know. And it would probably cost at least one of those number ones, maybe 2 of them, maybe all of them.
Have them.
Well,
I know you think that the Cooper Flag ball's coming. It's not.
Well, maybe that one isn't, but I did see some other guys over the weekend. That, just last night, kid from Rutgers.
Yeah.
Maybe 2nd, 3rd. I mean, so I feel like right now I'm the guy. I'm in Vegas. I just had a nice hand. I've made all my money back plus a little bit to pay for a meal and maybe even my flight home. I'm almost about to grab my chips and go back to my room.
You're feeling.
I'm feeling like I'm not going to ruin what's been a pretty good day.
Yeah, I like to gamble.
Well, and gamblers get the big. I mean, you have to swing for the fences to get there. But right now, I'm feeling like I'm not going to screw this up.
The Super Bowl on Sunday. We haven't even started really talking about like prediction wise what we think is going to happen. I've got a list here of the biggest bets that have been made so far. There have been 3 $100,000 bets at Caesars. To win $90,909, so it minus 110 basically.
So they all love Kansas City.
No, all three of them Eagles +1.
Eagles +1.
Which I don't know why you would bet that kind of money at +1 when there's +1.5 all over the place. But all right, it's your call.
So the money coming in for it to be tight in Philly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
tight I get.
There's a $300,000 wager that happened at BetMGM to win $250,000 on the Eagles in the first half. Eagles plus a half point in the first half. So to be tied or ahead in the first half, $300,000 bet on the Eagles. And then a $30,000 bet on the Eagles +3 at -140. So they're taking a little bit of juice to get the full field goal. Moneyline bets, there has been an $800,000 bet on the Eagles at BetMGM to win $880,000. There's been a $750,000 bet to win $825,000 on the Eagles. The third biggest moneyline bet that's been made was on the Chiefs at -130, $326,000 to win $250,000.
So the narrative, I think, for most gamblers is close game, Kansas City wins. Blowout, doesn't matter. Separation by 7 points, Eagles win. Is that the perception?
That is. And that's Kansas City, all they do is win these games that are at a field goal or less. Like, I can't imagine thinking that this game is going to come down to, like, a last-second field goal and the Chiefs don't win, because that's just what they do. And quite frankly, look at every Super Bowl the Chiefs have won, they trailed, and then they won. Mm-hmm. It's just – if you're telling me this game is coming down to – if this game finishes in the spread, which normally the Super Bowl winner also covers the spread. Mm-hmm. I have a hard time picking against Kansas City. I mean, and you can say what you want about, well, the refs, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be refs on this field too, and if there is some sort of or some edict from above that Mahomes is going to win this, then we'll see it again. But I just think this is what Mahomes is. Mahomes wins games that, like, late in the game, you think you've got him, you finally got him. It's the same thing I said with Buffalo. For Buffalo to win, you have to kill him. You have to chop his head off early and make sure he's gone. He's like Michael Myers. If you don't chop his head off, he's going to get back up and he's going to stab you. Jason Voorhees, you name the movie bad guy. That's what Patrick Mahomes is. You have to kill him to beat him. You can't be in a game late and think that he's not going to get you.
But at some point, you live by the sword, you're going to die by it. At some point, you're going to play the odds that all I got to do is be close, and I'll take care of business. And it doesn't work. And it's worked so often for so long. It's kind of like you flip tails 7 consecutive times. Just on general principle, I'm calling heads on just because it's been 7. And I know that in the grand scheme of things, what has happened in the past has nothing to do with what's going to happen now. Whether it landed on its side last time, the quarter, doesn't matter whether it's going to go heads or tail. But after 7 consecutive times, you go, just by the numbers, it's going to go the other way.
You know what's funny?
At some point, it's going to bite them in the ass. They're going to miss the field goal. Pat's going to ball fake and make a mistake, and the game will be over, and they're going to stand there and go, well, that's not how it's supposed to happen. But at some point,
you sound like the guy who said Tom Brady's going to get old.
And you know what, AJ? As you were saying that, I could see myself sitting in the studio across the hall in 2016 saying the same damn thing.
Tom Brady's too old. It's over.
At some point, he's going to miss. At some point, it'll happen. And it never freaking did.
It's funny. A professional gambler once told me, he asked me this. He presented the question this way. He said, if we do 10 coin flips in a row and it's heads 10 times, he's like, what are you picking the next one to be? And my brain initially said
tails by just the odds.
And he said, you know why that's dumb?
Well, it is dumb.
He said, because chances are good if heads is hit 10 times in a row, there's something going on with that coin.
Well,
and he's like, and until you if there is nothing wrong with that coin, then it's 50-50 anyway.
Right. It should have no bearing on the next occurrence.
He said, but if there is something with that coin,
play it.
You want to keep riding.
I agree.
It took me a second. I was like, oh, my God, you're right.
I get it.
And what is everybody talking about? Like, the coin might be heavy on one side.
I always tell the story, and it's from a book, but it was also made into a movie, The World According to Garp with Robin Williams. Garp is going to go buy a house. He's standing in front of this house with the realtor, and out of nowhere, an airplane crashes into the house. The house is on fire, and Garp turns to him and says, "I'll take it." And the realtor said, "What?" He goes, and Garp said, "What are the chances of another plane hitting this house?"
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way you got to go with this.
And Rind says AJ picked against Kansas City all year, said it was unsustainable. He's a flip-flopper. I mean, fine, but
you know
listen,
what,
man, you're Charlie Brown running up to kick the football enough times.
Let me tell you something.
You learn your lesson.
I'm going to flip-flopping. You can apply that to me and to a lot of people. I will never apply flip-flopping to everyday gamblers. Because I know you're not a flip-flopper. You play the game, not what happened yesterday, not what's happening next week. What's the game today? And that's what gamblers do. And I can tell you, you've never flip-flopped. Now, it might have appeared that way because you went week to week. But
I'll bet on one team one week and then bet against them the next week because that's the way the market works. But I don't think it's flip-flopping.
I will tell you, my gut as we get closer and closer to the game is Philly is playing possum. They're about to do something, and it might not even be close.
All right, well, we're going to do the daily lines next, and I want to say one more thing about this Super Bowl, and we'll be heavy in the Super Bowl tomorrow, but we'll be right back. It's the Morning Huddle 94.1.
You know, Arasti providers are all around San Antonio, and they play a role for those of us that, you know, you get stuck with something that hurts, and you really don't want to take a bunch of medication and deal with going to the pharmacy and all the stuff that goes along with any kind of prescriptive drug that could be a little bit, could get you a little bit stuck on it, a little bit addicted to it. So we all try to avoid that, but we don't want to live in pain. How do you get over it? Well, going and not doing anything is not the answer. Living in pain and not doing anything about it is not the answer either. That's why Arasti providers have been so successful, because the way they attack your pain is a little bit different than maybe your general practitioner was, or maybe your chiropractor was, or whoever you're going to see, because they use your body's maximum potential to heal itself. And it's a remarkable thing how it works, because I've had lower back issues most of my adult life. I talk about it all the time. It turned out that the problem was actually in my hamstrings. It wasn't my back. They fixed the problem. My back stopped hurting. That could be you. The great thing about Arasti is they accept most insurances. And here's the good news. You don't have to wait. Call them today. You don't need a referral. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. The website, Arasti.com. Great locale. You'll see a map of all the providers there and lots of tips and tricks to stay healthy at the Arasti website. Listen to me close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio with one goal in mind, and that's to get you out of pain as fast as possible. Call them today. Come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot on I-10 westbound approaching W.W. White. It is an accident. It's off to the shoulder, but still causing about a 20-minute delay. Has you slow from FM 1516. Southeast side of town, 37 northbound Fair Avenue accident that's off to the shoulder, and I-10 westbound Crossroads disabled vehicle right shoulder blocked. And all this road work downtown on 35 southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez causing a lot of delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's President's Day sale. Get matched to your perfect bed now and sleep at night. Plus, if you see a lower price, they'll match it. Hurry and stop by Mattress Firm to upgrade today. Restrictions apply.
Progressive presents a testimonial of sorts.
Hey, slow down! Oh yeah? Well, you drive like my grandma. She's a very attentive and courteous driver who wears a seatbelt and always uses her turn signals. She's also a talented painter and has very low cholesterol. Not that that has anything to do with her drive. We just thought a more complete picture of who she is might be interesting. Anyway, have a nice day.
Safe driver? Get Snapshot from Progressive and get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon.
Call 656-PURE Connecticut.
Wow! Most cars and pickup trucks can have a ceramic film installed by the experts at Mother's Window Tint starting at just $199. That's an incredible price. If you shop around, you'll find that competitors charge hundreds of dollars more. Plus, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Mother's Window Tint offers up to 60 different film options to fit all price ranges. Since 1984, Mother's Window Tint has been known as the home of the tint and alarm special. If you're looking to enhance your vehicle security to the highest level, visit Mother's Window Tint today, where security systems start at just $3.99. Call us at 210-496-3454. That's 210-496-3454. Or visit us online at motherswindowtint.com. And remember, do it at Mothers and save!
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for my good friends over at Prize Picks. It is now or never. The big game is almost here. Don't miss out on the last big one of the season. And Prize Picks is the absolute best place to win cash while watching the big game. And I'm talking about serious cash, 1,000 times your money. And it is so easy to do. And on top of that, we've got money for you. Just check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups, you can get them. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win up to $1 million. That's part of the promo finds. That's why you go to Prize Picks. I'll tell you what, you want some cash? Use the code Alamo. You get $50 instantly after you play your first game. That's a $5 lineup with 2 times the money. Let's go play Prize Picks. You've been putting it off all year long, or you've been playing along with the other 10 million. Prize Picks is the place to be. Go run your game.
George gets justice. After being hit by an 18-wheeler, the experienced attorneys of George Salinas Injury Lawyers are San Antonio's choice for getting you the maximum compensation you deserve. With over 110 years of combined experience, they've recovered millions for their clients. 18-wheelers may be bigger than you on the road, but you can be bigger than them in the courtroom. George guarantees that you don't pay unless they win your case. Call 210-225-0909 today for a free consultation. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
Try Round Table Pizza's new pepperoni, grilled chicken, and bacon pizza. And don't forget to pair it with our irresistible shareables, mozzarella sticks, jalapeno poppers, or golden potato wedges. The perfect bite to complement your meal. Find the nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for the big game in the Big Easy.
It's showtime. Let's do it.
And the only local station bringing you exclusive wall-to-wall coverage from New Orleans. All brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. We're live from Radio Row with insider interviews, breaking stories, and all the pregame excitement leading up to the superb hour.
This is exactly where we want to be.
From the biggest names in sports to behind-the-scenes access, we've got it all.
I like this kind of party.
Our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage is brought to you in part by Flight by Yingling, Circle Las Vegas, Smoky Mo's Barbecue, Synergenics, Testosterone and Weight Loss, and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Your front row seat to the backstage action, live from New Orleans, is 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All right. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Angel Avila says, late to the chat, but was listening on the way home. Just want to say sports don't care if you're 7 for 7 or 0 for 4. MJ was 6 for 6 in the finals. Jim Kelly was 0 for 4 in the Super Bowl. But, I mean, sports does care because Jim Kelly's looked at a lot differently than Michael Jordan is.
I think probably the point was the next shot's the one. You miss every shot you don't take.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I agree with that.
0 for 5, go 0 for 6.
Shoot or shoot, baby.
Yeah,
shoot or shoot.
I hope that's what they meant.
Because, if you think that those two guys are looked at in the same light historically, I beg to differ. And maybe we could, you know what? We'll talk to Thurman Thomas.
And before we go
about an
any
hour from
further,
now.
Vic, we're going to need a laugh quickly.
Oh.
There we go.
I'm here. I just told Alexandra I'm
everybody
here.
knows you're here.
No, I'm just listening to everything, you know. There's nothing really.
And plus,
we're not funny enough for you today, Vic? Is that what's going on? You're not laughing.
There's no funny.
Somebody give him a knock-knock joke.
It's serious.
What you guys have to also understand is normally Vic is high on marijuana when he gets to work. Today,
no, I'm sober today.
He's sober.
Yeah.
Because yesterday he had too much.
Load up on the Trulicity.
He had too much carbohydrates.
Yeah, my sugar was high. It was really high.
Mainlining the GLP-1 yesterday.
I couldn't see anything.
We had a good lunch. It was worth the extra the little shot in the ass in the afternoon, wasn't it? It was worth it.
It was. Oh yeah, I loved it.
I enjoyed that meal.
I don't eat like that all the time.
Let's give him credit. It was Nuevo Mexico?
Nuestro Mexico.
Nuestro Mexico.
Yeah, they were. What's it called? Univision was there. Or one of those channels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
I think they were getting there for news purposes.
Yeah.
We were hoping the kitchen was still fully staffed when we got there. There'd been a couple of roundups going on yesterday.
Hope it was good news and they weren't doing like behind the kitchen door.
Well, the good news is the cook didn't get taken in. He was still cooking.
He was still cooking. The price of eggs has gone up, though. There's a sign telling you anything you order with eggs is going to be $1 more. Damn eggs.
$1 an egg.
I know, man.
Ridiculous.
I got 21 baby chickens.
I'm
taking orders.
Hey, I'm saving already the cartons already.
I'm taking orders, so they should be laying here in about
You saw the future.
Yeah, me and Elon Musk are taking over the world, one egg at a time.
You saw the future.
He's got huevos way.
Big huevos way.
Someone said you guys hate Mahomes because he's a Red Raider.
Yes, that's one of the many reasons I hate him.
If he was an Aggie, you'd be in love.
We love Pat. That's not. You have to have loved him for a while to get tired of him.
Yeah, I don't dislike Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I think Patrick Mahomes is a flopper, but I don't dislike him, and I certainly don't dislike him because he went to Texas Tech.
I kind of pity him.
I don't care about
he's a Texas guy. Come on.
Yeah,
I
don't care about where guys went to school once they are playing professional ball.
It really no longer. You're right. It no longer matters, and I think that's
irrelevant.
Rob was saying the Cowboys need to draft this lineman from Texas. And most people are like, if you care about a pro team, you just want your pro team to get the best players. You don't care where they come from. You just want guys who can help you now. That past is the past, Bubba.
As long as you didn't go to LSU.
Give me.
I mean, let's be realistic.
Pump Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase into my veins. I'll take those guys all day.
I'll put up with some stuff. That's the problem with this Super Bowl because no one dislikes the Chiefs. No one. If I walked up on somebody and they said,
"No, I do."
Well, you dislike them for the right reason.
Well, I dislike them because they beat my team every year.
Well, and you should, but you can't go objectively and look at the Chiefs and go, "Those sons of bitches, those cheating bastards." If they were cheating, it's because the refs helped them. It wasn't like this was the New England Death Star where you had Belichick.
I can be annoyed that I can't watch a commercial without seeing Patrick Mahomes, and I can't.
That's what it is.
I can't turn on the internet or TV without seeing Travis Kelce holding hands with Taylor Swift. Like that gets old, to be honest.
And that's it. That's all it is. It's familiarity. I'm just ready for something new. I don't want to hear Reed tell me nuggies again. It's funny the first time, but now let's turn the page, man. Let's get something new. And if it takes a three-peat and the celebration and all that, fine. Let's just get it over with.
Yeah, so be it. All right. We don't really have time to do the daily lines here.
Hey, I got a suggestion.
Tell me your suggestion.
Do you think somebody told me this yesterday. Do you think the Bills and Lions should just play a game to see who's really the champion?
No.
No?
No.
Like a challenge game?
Yeah, like instead of the Pro Bowl.
When we would go to
Let's do that.
AAU tournaments, and there'd be two teams that were so obviously better than everybody else.
How is this not
and
been
the two
brought
coaches would be talking. Hey, do you guys want to play a game right before the championship?
Right,
game?
Dude. I'm
Y'all
sorry.
want to get together just ahead of time just to see who really is the deal?
Lions got blown out at home by a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry.
It wasn't their turn.
You ain't ready. They ain't ready.
They just had a bad game.
Now, Buffalo would be another question.
Had Detroit gone and lost in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs, I'd be like, damn. It's that Chiefs voodoo.
Yeah.
The NFC was wide open. It was Detroit's for the taking, and they couldn't do it.
And they couldn't do it, but still, I'd like to see that.
I think in the hindsight, we'd always like let's have one showcase game.
Right.
You know, those that didn't make it, we get to pick one matchup. We play the Saturday or the Sunday before the Super Bowl, and let's just see what would have been.
God.
Let's just get rid of the Pro Bowl. But
That's the last thing I want is to start hanging NIT banners.
Well, exactly. Well, it's kind of like, remember when seriously, when we would go to the NCAA tournament and they used to have the third place game? Like, no one gave a crap about the third place game.
Miserable.
So
It let them charge a little more for the ticket,
and
is
I
what
get
it did.
third. I think my freshman will play tonight.
Yeah.
I'd still say let's just let him play.
Oh, Greeny is the worst.
Let me see.
He won't eat any of this stuff.
Why won't he?
I don't know. Like
that's
I take
that's
that
king cake.
That's king cake right now. Got to find a baby Jesus.
They showed him a bunch of Louisiana food. They showed him jambalaya. He said no. They showed him a po' boy. He said no. They showed him gumbo. He said no. I don't know what he says about king cake. Is he going to try it? No,
sugar?
he said no.
Is that a lot of sugar in there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's all sugar.
It's delicious,
forget it.
wonderful sugar.
If it was made with Splenda, maybe.
Oh no. And if you find a baby Jesus, you get to host the party next year.
Yeah.
Is Greeny the least relatable person that's ever had success in media? He's in the conversation, right?
The term persnickety comes to
like
mind.
in sports media, he's like the least. He's the least relatable sports radio guy I can think of.
He probably doesn't eat wings.
I guess Cowherd's close. Oh, yeah, he eats boneless wings. He doesn't like the meat off the bone.
See.
Gross. We'll be back. Last hour of the huddle.
On your ride to work, it's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson, KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn that's more affordable than you think. Don't wait. Visit TrueGreen.com today and let the pros handle the work while you enjoy the results. That's TrueGreen.com. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
When your business needs an electrician, for over 35 years, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio. Powered by relationships with dedicated estimators who analyze the issue, research cost-effective solutions, and clearly communicate the options without charging you a dime. A proven process that allows you to continue focusing on your unique purpose. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or hill-electric.com.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer. Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help. Supply. See storemattressfirm.com for details.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2706.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2706. That's 800-575-2706.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot on I-10 westbound approaching W.W. White. It is an accident. It's off to the shoulder, but still causing about a 20-minute delay. Has you slow from FM 1516. Southeast side of town, 37 northbound Fair Avenue accident that's off to the shoulder, and I-10 westbound Crossroads disabled vehicle right shoulder blocked. And all this road work downtown on 35, southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez causing a lot of delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
San Antonio Spurs beat the Hawks last night, 126-125, in De'Aaron Fox's San Antonio debut. He scored 24 points and a franchise record 13 assists in his Spurs entry. Wemby was along for the ride, but he offered 24, including the game-winning free throw. Up next, the Spurs continue the Rodeo road trip in Charlotte. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
9 o'clock on the Morning Huddle here in San Antonio, Texas. AJ and Rob on a Thursday, Super Bowl Thursday.
Yeah, they're gathering.
Play a big football match in 2 days. And Rob, the big concern for us is what are we going to eat on Super Bowl Sunday? We've already been discussing what we're going to eat.
Planning our menu.
On Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to bring some parisa to your house, and you and I might be the only ones eating it.
That'd be an interesting question for our next guest, a man who might actually know of parisa.
Well, why don't you introduce our guest?
One of the great things about going to the Super Bowl is running into those that are in the periphery of the football world, and everybody eats on Super Bowl Sunday, and if you've gathered around a TV and watched any football and eaten at the same time, Andrew Zimmern is one that I'm sure you've paid attention to. Always a pleasure to run into him. Sadly, I'm not in New Orleans with him, but he is with us sitting at our table there in New Orleans. Morning, Mr. Zimmern. How are you today?
Mr. Zimmern was my father. I thought the three of us were friends.
I thought so, too. And I consider you a friend, and sadly we don't get to 100%. Cross paths this year, but it's always a pleasure to run into my Patronus, the man who cooks the way I dream, Andrew Zimmern.
Well, it's great. It's great to be with you. I saw the basketball game last night. I thought it was going to mean, I didn't think Atlanta would make it a game at one point, but yeah.
That's the thing about the Spurs is that the Spurs will make games that shouldn't be games a game in the fourth quarter. They find a way to do that.
Are you a Timberwolves fan, Andrew?
Massive. One of the I co-own a company with my business partner called KZ Provisioning, and we're a B2B catering company. We feed sports teams. And Timberwolves are our clients, the Minnesota Wild, the Lynx, USA Junior Hockey, We do some stuff on the college level, and we're expanding into other cities. So, yeah, we've been working with the Wolves for like 7 years, and I'm a massive Wolves fan. And, I mean, look, we have Anthony Edwards in our hometown. I mean, it's what's more fun to watch than that.
Well, having Wemby is what's more fun. That's the
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We have to lean
I
toward
mean, look, I love watching him play. And when I think, he's just going to keep getting better and better. I mean, look at the stats that he's putting down. But in terms of dominating games, I think that comes next year. And San Antonio is going to be, they just put the right things around him. He is a game-altering force.
Andrew, I didn't give you the proper introduction. For those that you see him, everybody is familiar with Andrew Zimmern's face. You're a four-time James Beard Award-winning TV personality, chef, writer. You made your bones on the bizarre foods, but really what I have always considered you as an every guy's chef. You cook food the way that I want to eat it. There's nothing frilly. There's nothing fancy. The flavors are brought and elevated. And what I've been watching you do now is cooking some South Texas food, at least some wild game in South Texas. And, Andrew, where are you filming this?
We hunted actually for it's funny how one's career evolves. Networks have been pursuing me to do a dump and stir chef standing in front of a cutting board show for 25 years. And I kept saying no. And 3 or 4 years ago, Outdoor Channel approached me and I said yes right away. And my agent said, "Why did you say yes right away?" And I said, "Well, because they're letting me do a live fire cooking show featuring wild game." And I now have 2 shows. They're on Tastemade, A&E, and Outdoor Channel, because the way the television world works, you can, move into several windows. They're, the different seasons are airing at different times on all 3 networks. There's a new season of Wild Game Kitchen on Tastemade right now, just premiered Monday night. And Field to Fire is my other show where we actually went down to South Texas because I can be based an hour out of San Antonio. We shot ducks in the morning. We fished gar in the afternoon. And before sundown, I took a massive nilgai bull down there. And so we just had an absolute blast, and no pun intended. And I spend a lot of time in Texas.
Well, you do.
What can I say?
Tracking a nilgai, for those who have never done that had to have been
tricky.
An aspirational goal, man. Those are hard to get.
We spent 3 days tracking this one herd, and they're very skittish. And my guide said to me, you can turn a corner and see one and be done in 15 minutes, or you can spend a week tracking a herd. And we spent 3 days tracking them, and it literally sundown of day 3. And, when the sun sets, safeties go on. You can't hunt. There's no night hunting, right? And so we looked at the clock, and we had like 3 minutes. It's not a joke. We had 3 minutes left, and we turned a corner and came around some scrub brush, and 200 yards away was the biggest buck that we'd seen in the 3 days. And I didn't, usually you wait for the guide to say, okay, you can take that, and all that. I just literally, lowered my rifle, looked down the scope, and just, we got to make TV, So, and he went down. It was dark. It was this one of the best shots I've taken in a long time. And we were able to harvest a ton of meat, feed a lot of people. We donated a lot of the meat to local food shelves through the processor, and then we took some back to our kitchen in Minnesota and did a Sunday. I made sausage with it and made braciole with it in a homemade tomato sauce and served it over polenta. Oh, and meatballs. And I showed people that you can do those. Why do it with pork, lamb, veal, whatever? If you have a wild animal that's well taken care of after you've during the harvesting, it is just absolutely delicious. So yeah, a lot of fun. And I love cooking over open fire.
Andrew Zimmern is our guest. You are in the Super Bowl happens to be in, I think, one of the great food cities in the world there in New Orleans. I mean, do you agree with that, first of all? And when you are in New Orleans, what's the fare of choice for you?
Well, New Orleans is the most special food city in America. It is the only city in America that when you say the words to yourself, New Orleans, and I'll give a beat so everyone can say it to themselves.
New Orleans.
Can smell it and taste it.
Yes.
You can smell it and taste it. Whether that's the smokiness of the roux in a gumbo, whether that is beignets at Cafe du Monde, it does not matter. Whether it's jambalaya at Mother's, whether it's fried chicken at Willie Mae's Scotch House, whether that's a huge bowl of boudin at Cochon Butcher, or something more elegant at Herb Saint or Compère Le Pain. There is no food city in America that elicits the emotional reaction from people that New Orleans does. And that is because the roots of real American historical cooking are most evident in this city. American cuisine is the food of West Africa filtered through the Caribbean with a lot of Spanish and French influence. And that is the food that was created and birthed here, both in Creole and Cajun kitchens, spread throughout the South. And that is American food. American food is not food cooked by the French that wound up, being the basis of great cuisine in New York. I believe New York's the greatest food city on planet Earth. If Queens alone was a city, it would be the greatest food city on planet Earth. But New Orleans is the most special food city in America from a historical perspective and from a quality perspective. Remember, you have 600, 700,000 residents in New Orleans, and they get something like 80, 90 million visitors a year. The restaurant community is designed to promote Louisiana food culture to the rest of the world, and is home to some of the best restaurants in America. It is very special.
It is, and when you add yourself and Carla Hall's there, Lashita Perry, Tim Love, I guess Mark Boucher's there as well. When you're
Emerald, the NFL, yes.
And as you all gather around and rub shoulders with these, Illuminati in New Orleans, tell me what you guys are all doing, cooking up with the NFL and the big game on Sunday.
Well, every Saturday we throw an incredible party with a great purpose, and that's Taste of the NFL. It raises millions of dollars for Gen Youth. People can go to tasteofthenfl.com. There are still some tickets available if you're hearing this and coming in for the game, but we are on fumes that way. But you can grab tickets now. You can also make a donation. Gen Youth has made a commitment to eliminate student hunger in America, and I don't think there's anything more important than eliminating childhood hunger. And the place that we can do it is through schools. And that doesn't mean school lunch. That means schools as places to teach nutrition, as drop-off points for food during the summer. We have the infrastructure through the school system in America to teach young people about nutrition, about physical wellness and exercise. We can get them engaged in programs where they're learning to cook. We can feed them when they're hungry, and we can do it 12 months a year. There is a dollar figure established against which we would statistically eliminate childhood hunger in America. And it is a national tragedy. It is, in my view, genocidal, and I know that's a very strong word, that we have hungry children in America, but that's simply because if you have the solution and you know that children are dying of hunger in your country and you're not doing anything about it, by its very definition, that's genocidal. I don't think, I ask people this all the time. Raise your hand if you're for childhood hunger, and no one is for it. But yet, the $17 billion a year, which is a rounding error on the federal annual budget, 0.0027 of our federal budget, I've done the math, we can statistically eliminate childhood hunger. Until that time, we have to do it on our own, and we do that at Taste of the NFL. 80 some odd Hall of Famers, current players, legends, all gathered together with some of the best chefs in New Orleans and 5 or 6 of us that come from outside New Orleans every year to co-host this thing, and we raise a lot of money for Gen Youth and all of their programs, along with some fantastic corporate partners and sponsors. And I'm so proud to be aligned in the fight against children's hunger, and to do it at an NFL-approved charitable endeavor like this and be a part of Super Bowls. I've been a part of them since, almost 32 years now. It's really quite something.
Well, let's do a quick dump and stir. I've got some defrosted venison. I'm going to do something interesting and unique for the big game on Sunday. What would you recommend I do?
What were you thinking?
Well, when you just said the braciole, I thought that might be an interesting idea, but that might be above my pay grade.
What cut? No, not at all. It's very simple. But what cut of venison do you have?
I'll probably pull a tenderloin out.
Well, when I have a luxury cut, I cut them into medallions. I season them with salt and pepper, about a half-inch thick, and I sear them medium rare, and I put them on little Hawaiian buns with caramelized onions and mushrooms and a little smear of whatever sort of chutney that you happen to have on hand. You can make one easily by combining a jam or jelly with a little bit of hot chili, minced shallot, and some vinegar just to give it some balance, some contrast. Smear that on the top bun, and to me, that's the best way to eat a luxury cut. When I'm doing things like braciole, I pound out slices that I take from the top round or bottom round. Shoulders and necks, I roast and pull the meat and use that for, chilies and braises and pozoles and things like that. But I want to taste that beautiful venison tenderloin or backstrap, whatever you have. And so medallions and little sandwiches, and just put enough other stuff on there to bring out that gorgeous flavor of the animal, and don't do anything more to it.
There you have it.
Oh, my mouth is
I'm
all
hungry.
watery. Yeah, and that's fancy. Like, my house, if we had backstrap, it was just deep fried.
Oh, but now, it's funny that you said that, because
chicken fried.
The second, and the way that I just prepared venison in my house was I did, I cut pieces of the leg, backstrap. I had a whole big mix bag, 3 or 4 pounds. Cut them all into fingers, buttermilk, 2-3 hours, typical flour dredge, same thing you do with chicken, and do that. You just have to be careful not to cook it past medium rare. It should still be pink when you bite into it, and that to me is that's dynamite. And I just dip that into 50% apricot preserves mixed with 50% Chinese hot mustard. There is nothing better. And recipes for all this are on my website at andrewzimmern.com.
I'm looking at you. You described growing up at your grandmother's oven. You just described my grandmother cooking.
It's the best.
She used the Chinese mustard,
well,
apricot
not the Chinese mustard. We didn't have that, but we had the chicken fried venison. We had that on a regular.
You have to. Fried food gets such a bad knock in this. And look, don't eat it every day. It's not great for you. But if you eat fried food and you do it the right way, and your batter is cold and your oil is hot, the oil transfer is minimal. You get more oil eating Caesar salad dressing at a local restaurant on your salad than you do on your portion of venison if you fry it correctly. There's a lot of mythology around fried food that irritates me.
I agree. When I
don't
die,
like people who knock it.
When I die, I want to die with fried food in my belly, not a bunch of salad.
And on my tombstone, I want it to say, "You keep your batter cold and your oil hot."
There you go. That is Andrew Zimmern. We appreciate the time, sir, and hopefully we'll do this again next year.
Andrew, always a pleasure. Take care of yourself.
Every year, tasteofthenfl.com. See you all there.
Thank you. There
Andrew
you go.
Zimmer,
Andrew
my
Zimmer.
Patronus, as he carries on for another
Very
year.
cool. All right, let's hit our break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the daily lines. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports. So I got to tell you about the attorney John Hicks. Guys, this is if you're looking for an attorney when you're dealing with family law, you want someone who knows where he's been, where you've been, or where you are now. And John Hicks is one of us, man. This is a veteran, 6 years as a Marine, 2 decades he served in the San Antonio Fire Department. This is just a regular guy, man, who happens to be a lawyer now and happens to be trying to help out regular guys like you. And if you've got baby mama drama, you're going through a divorce, custody battle, you got child support, you need modifications done, this is the guy you want to go with. Because one of the things I'll tell you, when you're going through that, you're worried about your money and how long your money's going to last, where it's going to go. And with the typical lawyer, you give them your retainer and you don't know what they're doing. And then one day they just call you and say, hey, man, you're out of money. We need some more. And you say, okay, well, what have we done? They can't really show you, but you've got flat fee work here with John Hicks, and he is going to represent you from beginning to end. He'll tell you what it's going to cost you to get from point A to point B, and he even has the option of a payment plan. Not a lot of lawyers are going to have that. Give them a call, 210-985-8330. They got a free consultation there for you. Or check them out online, jhickslawfirm.com. That's 210-985-8330 for attorney John Hicks.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We've got a new trouble spot on I-10 westbound approaching W.W. White. It is an accident. It's off to the shoulder, but still causing about a 20-minute delay. Has you slow from FM 1516. Southeast side of town, 37 northbound Fair Avenue accident that's off to the shoulder, and I-10 westbound Crossroads, disabled vehicle, right shoulder blocked. And all this road work downtown on 35, southbound Martin Street to Cesar Chavez, causing a lot of delays. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for Super Bowl 59.
I like this kind of party.
The Philadelphia Eagles face the Kansas City Chiefs Sunday at 5:30. The Chiefs, led by MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes, aims for an unprecedented third consecutive Super Bowl victory, a feat never achieved in NFL history. Meanwhile, the Eagles, with a formidable defense and a dynamic offense, are ready to challenge the reigning champions. Don't miss a moment of this historic matchup, presented locally by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. Sunday at 5:30 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Your home for Super Bowl 59.
This report is sponsored by ASCOEQ.com. We're on it for over 65 years. ASCO Equipment has delivered dependable service and reliable equipment. As a family-owned and locally operated business, they value your time and commit to being a blessing every day. Whatever you need, we're on it at ASCO Equipment. ASCOEQ.com.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can for details.
Make it your New Year's resolution to drink better beer. That's what I'm talking about. Who needs dry January? Let's go all in with Karbach, baby. Karbach Brewing out of Houston, but they love San Antonio, and their beer is all over the city. Their head brewer came here and said, we want San Antonio to be a priority market for us, so they have put their beer all over our fair town. From Hopadillo, their in-your-face hopped IPA, to Love Street, which is their blonde Kolsch-style beer, and it's their best seller, by the way. On top of that, the Crawford Bock, which is one of my personal favorites. There's something for everyone in Karbach's lineup. So go to the grocery stores, go to the liquor stores, they're going to have it. And you might be surprised, all the bars and restaurants that you might think not have it probably do have some Karbach behind the bar. So whenever you're out watching football, watching playoff football, ask the bartender, please make it a Karbach.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
In San Francisco. And the Cowboys hired a special teams guy. It's hard to believe I used to do that for a living.
It really is.
He's a special teams guy.
Cowboys hired a special guy.
30 seconds comes up quick. Huh?
He does, man. Well, my wife says. Did I say that out loud?
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
All right, let's do an early version of the Daily Lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Nothing's changed in the NFL. 1.5 Chiefs, 48.5 is your total.
What do you think will change? The total or the line?
I mean, I think more. I mean, the typical Joe Public bettor is more likely to bet the line than they are the total. So that would be my guess. But my guess is if it goes anywhere, it goes towards the Chiefs and it goes towards the over, because that's what the public almost always bets, and which is why I usually want to bet the other side. But I have a rule of thumb about the Chiefs. Like if they're in the Super Bowl and they're favored by, and they're typically not even favored.
No, you're right.
Like I just don't. I want nothing to do with going against them in the Super Bowl. They've got it figured out. And you know what? I said this earlier. I wanted to say something about this Chiefs-Eagles game. If you go position for position across the board, the Eagles are a better team, except for
the most important position.
Except for quarterback and head coach. The Eagles are better everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
But there's been a lot of second-place teams that were better everywhere, but head coach and quarterback.
Head coach and quarterback is so important in the NFL. Nothing else really even comes close.
At least at this level, if you don't got it, you don't got it. You just don't get it either. I mean, it's just not going to happen.
All right, let's look at what's going on in the NBA tonight. We've got the Mavericks. The new look Mavericks are on the road in Boston, Beantown. Celtics.
Tough place to start.
Celtics favored by 10.
Yeah.
On the road.
Let's be realistic. There's so many moving parts. They only got like 4 guys that know the locker combinations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be a tough one, but that's still a huge number.
That is a big number, man. Rockets favored by 1.5 at Minnesota. That should be a pretty decent game tonight. Rockets have been better, but boy, I kind of like the Timberwolves as a home dog. Magic plus 7.5 at the Nuggies.
What's happened to the Magic apart from the injuries?
I don't know. It's funny because as they've gotten healthier, they've gotten worse.
Yeah, I can't quite figure out what's happening.
They may want to go back to playing scrubs again. Like Banchero, Wagner, you guys sit out a little while longer. We're going to go back. I don't know what's going on with them. The Warriors, fresh off a loss to the Jazz. Oh, my God. The Warriors plus 7.5 at the Lakers.
Jimmy going to play?
I can't imagine, but, I mean, I don't know that it'd matter. But God, I don't want to lay 7.5 with the Lakers either.
the chaos that has happened, and we still got more activity. This could get even weirder by 4 o'clock, and all these teams that are going to be involved with. You wonder it's going to get pulled off the board if something weird happens.
Yeah. Speaking of chaos, the Portland Trailblazers go for their third consecutive win. What?
Somebody stop the Trailblazers.
Third consecutive win they could get tonight. They are 1-point favorites hosting the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento is scary right now. This might be about right.
I mean,
they're playing like a team that has been freed of something.
The Blazers have figured they're having fun. By the way, I saw a video of like DeAndre Ayton joking around with his teammates, and standing next to DeAndre Ayton is Donovan Clingan. And Donovan Clingan makes DeAndre Ayton look like a baby. Like he looks tiny compared to him.
I think Klingan's still growing.
He's like a literal he looks like an ogre. He's obviously there's giants like Wemby, and Wemby's like very slight and very, very long. Chet Holmgren is a giant, but he's also very skinny. Dude, you're talking about a monster in Donovan Clingan. He's a massive person. And the Pacers plus 5.5 at the LA Clippers. All right, we need to break now, Vic. All right, let's break now. When we come back, we'll talk to Buffalo Bills legend Thurman Thomas. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Please, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be... Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Pizza craving? We've got you covered. At Round Table Pizza, we've been crafting pizzas with premium, high-quality ingredients for over 60 years. From our made-from-scratch dough to our savory toppings piled all the way to the edge. Find your nearest location or order delivery at roundtablepizza.com.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Price it hot!
It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Deextractor. Score big with Deextractor and Seguin. And 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's go!
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right. Morning Huddle 94.1. Wrapping it up on a Thursday, a Super Bowl Thursday. We have our guest on, Vic.
We do. I saw him.
Oh, man, I'm excited about this
Should be.
as the maybe the only Bills fan in San Antonio. I don't know, but I'm certainly the only one on the radio. It is an honor and a privilege to have the great Thurman Thomas on the program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well, Thurman. We're doing well. First of all, I have to ask you if you're as disappointed as I am that Josh Allen and company aren't getting ready to play on Sunday. Did you think that this year could be the year?
Well, as a Bills fan, I think that every year, right? But I did think that this was the year because at the beginning of the year, nobody really said anything about the Bills. You know, we lost Stephon Diggs, blah, blah, blah. But Josh really matured as a quarterback and really, you know, I mean, we made it to the AFC Championship game, and we were supposed to finish third in our division behind the Jets in Miami.
That's laughable now, isn't it?
Right. And we clinched like, what, week 8 maybe? I don't even know.
Crazy.
I think it was, yeah. And so, but you know what? It comes down to, you know, whether you can make a play and where you cannot make a play. And we have not made a play against Patrick Mahomes the last 4 times that we have played them, him and the Chiefs in the playoffs. And but like I keep hearing Peyton Manning say, one day it will come, when he was talking about finally getting over the hump to beat Tom Brady. The Bills have to keep plugging away, keep getting better players. You know, there's been rumors about, you know, the trade situation, maybe getting Myles Garrett or Max Crosby, and that's something that we need.
Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp. I don't know if we need Cooper Kupp. I think I'm good with Shakir. I just think we need a receiver that's going to stretch the defense a little bit more this year. We did not throw the ball downfield at all this year, and I think that hurt us. And when we did attempt to it, you know, Josh overthrew the guy by 5 or 10 yards. So, I mean, they just couldn't connect. And I think in the National Football League, sometimes when they play that high-low safeties, man, you can have an opportunity to throw the ball deep, and we just don't have that guy.
Thurman, does it piss you off when a guy like Peyton Manning says eventually it happens for everybody eventually, when you like
yeah, dude,
actually,
it don't happen
say,
for
actually
everybody.
no, it doesn't happen for everybody.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. It does not happen for everybody, and so yeah, that's a great point. And but you know what? I just think if we just continue to build around Josh, just continue to give him weapons, and I think we'll be fine. I think Josh within the next – I think the Bills within the next 3 to 5 years will win a championship.
In your mind, how important, like, for a legacy, like how different would your legacy be? How different would Jim Kelly's legacy be, Bruce Smith's, Andre Reed, all those guys? Had you even guys wanting one ring, how different would it be in your mind?
Oh, it'd be totally different, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even be, and it wouldn't really even be this much pressure on Josh Allen right now because
You're right.
we have one, right? You know, and but we're still searching for that first, and yeah, I do think if we, you know, people always say, well, what if you'd just won one? How would it have been? I'm like, the hell with one? I wish I'd have won all 4 of them. I'm like, you probably wouldn't have been able to tell me anything about my team.
You wouldn't be coming on our show
4.
right now. You wouldn't be
right. I wouldn't even be. Yeah, I would be doing this interview from a beach somewhere in Bora Bora like this. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be hanging with Mark Singleton, that kind of crowd, but not with us, with the Southern Recipe pork guys. Thurman, I got a real question, real quick about the running back position. It looked like that was had gone secondary a couple years ago, and you could tell that the pay had started to dry up, and then we see what Saquon did and Derek and everybody changing some addresses. Give me your opinion of where the running back position is in the game of football today.
I think it's in a place where it's better than it was maybe, say, 5 to 7 years ago. I think the game is better for it now because I think what you're seeing, I've been telling everybody this, like, you know, we've been all kind of like, everybody's passing the ball 40, 50, 60 times a game, and you have nothing but edge rushers. Well, you know what? You're getting now where you're going out and you're getting teams that are looking for these athletic type of offensive linemen, whether they play center, guard, or tackle. You haven't seen more guards and centers pull in the last 10 years than you have lately. And so you're getting these guys who are more athletic. They're just going to pound on these guys that used to be pass rushers. So now is the time to do it. I love that you're hearing there may be a couple of running backs being taken in the first round this year. So, you know, I'm very excited. You know, I talk to Emmett and Barry about it all the time, and they're like, thank God, because The running back position has been downgraded, but I think, with the emergence of these last three, Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Josh Jacobs, I think coming back, I think you could see a lead where they might run a little bit more and be kind of 50-50.
Thurman, we were talking before the show started about Rob, who graduated the same year as you did in high school. His team was lined up. Well, now Rob was the manager for the cheerleaders. He wasn't on the football team.
I had other responsibilities.
But your team was lined up to face his in the finals, but his team lost in the semis, and you guys beheaded the team that you played at the end. So Rob was kind of glad that you guys didn't play each other.
Man.
But then we got to kicking around. How did you end up going from Southwest Houston to Oklahoma State? Like, what were your other options, and what made you choose Oklahoma State? Did you get that early NIL money? Is that what happened?
Nah, that didn't. There was no such thing.
That was at SMU. Yeah, Mark can talk about that a little bit later. But
you got a payroll to meet.
Yeah. Obviously, being from Texas, my idol was Earl Campbell, and he went to the University of Texas. And I went there on my visit, and Fred Akers was the head coach, and he looked at me and said, "Well, Thurman, we're pretty set at the running back position. We'd like for you to play defensive back." And so I left out of there disappointed and like I can't go to my favorite school. So I went to Texas A&M. Jackie Sherrill was there. You talk about Fred Akers, and then you go visit Jackie Sherrill at Texas A&M, and kind of the same thing. Didn't really mention running back, was more talking about defensive back. So my third visit was at Oklahoma State. Head coach was Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy said to me, he said, "So Texas and Texas A&M want you to play defensive back?" And I was like, "Yeah, coach." He was like, "Well, look, if you come here, you're going to be number 6 on the depth chart, and you get your number 34." And I said, "You know what? I'm coming to Oklahoma State." That's when I made the decision to go to Oklahoma State, and it was the best decision I think that I've ever made, because I was a senior at Oklahoma State, and I met my wife, and we've been together for 37 years, and she was from Buffalo. She was down as a walk-on golfer at Oklahoma State. She was from Buffalo, and I got drafted by Buffalo. So
I did not know that.
And by the way, by the time you graduated, Fred Akers was fired. So it shows what that dummy knew.
And Jackie was
what a dope.
Well, we had our own problems, and we're still paying our price. Now, you're sitting there in a gold jacket, Thurman, and you represent an era of football. And as we get closer and closer to Pork Rind Appreciation Day and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and their involvement in this, why are you sitting next to the gentleman that looks so handsome sitting there beside you, Mark Singleton? Because he does good work, and you're helping him do even better work. So tell us what's going on.
Right, absolutely, man. Yeah, we've with Southern Recipe and Pork Rind Appreciation Day that will continue to all the way through February 9th. You can go to porkrinds.com and register to win 2 Super Bowl tickets for the Super Bowl next year, 2026, in Santa Clara. Airfare, hotel taken care of. But I think the most important thing out of all that is that, you get a year's supply of pork rinds.
Oh, my God.
That's
a lot of pork rinds.
That's the kicker right there, yeah. And so we're here on behalf of, to raise money for the Gridiron Greats Assistant Fund, headed by Mike Ditka, and just to help some of the former players that are not doing well. And it's been great. It's been going on for, 16 years now?
16 years.
Yeah, and it's one of the great organizations, man, when you talk about football, basketball, hockey, and baseball. This one here really has taken off and taken off really fast. I probably even for Mike Ditka to say that, but it's such a great organization, and to give back to help to your former players is awesome, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Mark, what Thurman's talking about is so many of our favorite players, those that we grew up idolizing, didn't quite get the retirement prospects that so many of the modern athletes got. They built the house, they just didn't get to live in it. And as you have taken over the last 15 years, Pork Rind Appreciation Day funds our heroes and keeping them healthy and moving. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, it's just been a great partnership with Coach Ditka and the Gridiron Greats and all the greats that you've helped us get the word out for the last 15 years. I mean, whether it's Joe Green or Kenny Houston or Ickey Woods or Billy White Shoes Johnson or Bobby Bell. I mean, what just surprises the heck out of me is the brotherhood of these players, how much they care about each other. Even though I just saw Thurman hug Emmett. You know,
I don't like that.
That's
by
two
the
of the
way.
best guys to ever carry the rock, right? and yet, when you see that friendship and that absolute commitment to help each other, it's just one of the best things about being here and raising awareness. And as you know, we have the party tonight, Cigars with the Stars. Go to gridirongreats.org. You can find things to bid on. You can help coach, help your heroes with their medical problems, with their just all the things that go along with aging after playing the most violent game there is. The people that we've helped, the knees we've replaced, the people who have had their lives greatly improved through Coach and Thurman and all the greats that have helped us all these years. We're so proud and so appreciative of your guys.
So Southern Recipes for Pork Rinds. Go to porkrinds.com for all the details. But just know the help that they're offering our stars matters today and into the future as our great ones age into something that I don't think they quite expected. It's always an honor to talk with a guy in a gold jacket, though, right, AJ?
Oh, no doubt. And Thurman, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I don't like the idea of you hugging Emmitt Smith. Tell me you're not hugging Ken Norton, and I'll feel okay. But there's some guy I don't want you hugging these. I like to think of you as like sworn enemies. But
no.
But we appreciate the time, guys, and enjoy the Super Bowl down there. Enjoy all the great thing you guys are doing for the NFL vets. We appreciate you.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, what an honor to talk to the great Thurman Thomas, for me at least. I don't like him hugging Emmitt. I can tell you that right now.
I hate, Jackie Sherrill holds kind of a place in my heart. I didn't like hearing that.
Oh, Fred Akers, what a dope.
Well, we knew Fred was a dope. Jackie lifted us to places we'd never been, and he passed over Thurman.
Yeah, well, lesson learned, friends. Yeah. Lesson learned. All right, there you go. That was pretty cool getting to talk to Thurman Thomas. Didn't have that on my bingo card going into the Super Bowl week that I'd be talking to a legend. What a guy!
In hindsight, I think your intro might have been all right. In hindsight, I think you might have been good with it.
The interview went so well. I'm glad I didn't try it.
You're right.
I'll say that
he seemed probably
he
more
seemed
equipped.
like a fun guy.
Maybe 10 years ago, maybe not.
Well, I think enough times passed.
I think time plus tragedy.
I think enough times passed.
I
think he might have even laughed. I think he might have laughed.
Might have.
I'm just saying. Because when I talked about Fred Akers getting fired, he laughed at that.
Well,
he said, that guy was a dope.
So
You're
did
right.
every other Longhorn within 150 miles.
All right. I wanted to talk to you about the we were doing the daily lines. A couple games tonight that I wanted to get your thoughts on. Maryland's at Ohio State. Ohio State a 2.5-point favorite.
Didn't I just see Maryland win a good home game?
You did. But this is not a home game.
Okay.
This is and that's the other thing. You saw Maryland early this season at Maryland beat Ohio State 83-59.
That's the team I'm thinking is going to show up tonight.
Maryland you're right. They just got a home win over Wisconsin. They got a win at Illinois, which was a good win. Blew them out on the road. But they've also lost at Northwestern, who isn't very good. Lost at Oregon, who isn't very good. Lost at Washington, who's quite frankly bad. And lost at Purdue. They've really struggled on the road this season overall. You like them to be all right here tonight against Ohio State?
I think they're peaking. I think they're playing better now than they have been. Coach Willard's got a team. He plays a system that you have to kind of fall into. You don't just get to play it. And I think they're kind of rounding into form. They're not overly talented, but they're a pretty good team.
We saw a good win for Tennessee last night at home against Mizzou, and Rutgers knock off Illinois at home. That's, again, it just goes to show how important home court is in the Big Ten. And that's what worries me about.
You're right.
I kind of want to back Ohio State tonight. I don't know that I had the balls after they got blown out that first game. Not as important in the ACC, where Duke depantsed Syracuse in their building 83-54.
They are taking names right now.
Boy, they are scary, man. Mm-hmm. They are scary. And I remember at the beginning of the season saying, I bet one of my bigger bets of the early season was Kentucky over Duke, because I said Kentucky's a bunch of grown men, Duke is a bunch of freshmen. And I said it at the time, and now it's very prescient, because if they play down the road, it might be a different story. And, oh, my God, if Duke played Kentucky today, you couldn't convince me to back Kentucky, because Kentucky has Duke has rounded into form, and Kentucky is kind of meh. But at the time, it was like, this team had it going on. I'll tell you the most surprising result of yesterday was Arkansas going in and just humiliating Texas.
That's after going into Kentucky and humiliating the entire state.
Now, there are 14 teams in the tournament conversation in the SEC. That's crazy. That is, it's wild to think that could be a real possibility, but I think it is. Although, I mean, as Arkansas got a bump last night, Texas certainly took a hit.
Oh, man. Coach Terry's time is done. I'm going to die on this hill. But he's going to put a dude in the lottery. Trey Johnson's going to be a lottery pick, and he is going to be unemployed.
I think so.
It doesn't look good.
The truth is, maybe Rodney Terry can be a good coach somewhere else. He ain't built for that job.
He's got good players and a bad team, and that's the worst kind of place to be.
He is not built for that job because that job cares more about getting good players than it does having a good team, and that takes a certain kind of person to do it. I mean, Coach Calipari did that for years. And you can win with good players.
You better win more than this.
He has not won nearly enough. But honestly, at this point, I think everybody there's so many teams in the SEC who you can make a real case for. It's going to set a record, the most teams from one conference ever to make the tournament. So that's impressive win for Arkansas last night. All right, we got 1 day left, friends. Automatic says when Philadelphia beat the Patriots had the better coaching quarterback. So I think any given Sunday still. You're right. You know what? You're right. It's a good example. It doesn't happen all the time, but but again, the Eagles are better. I really think every position group except for those two, like receiver, isn't even close.
I'm headed to a place. I like Kansas City. I think I'm going to put some money on Philadelphia.
Are you?
It's just starting to feel like I'm not hearing enough out of Kansas City. Like they're just expecting we've been there. We know what we're doing. We're just going to go do this. And I think Philadelphia is playing a little possum, a little quiet back there, a little quiet.
This might be nothing. I'm going to tell you my thoughts from yesterday, hearing Mahomes and Kelsey and those guys do their press conference. When I heard Mahomes and they asked him about the ref, he kept a smile on, and it all seemed very trained and rehearsed. And that can be a good thing or it can be a bad thing. But it felt very trained and rehearsed. And then when they asked Travis Kelce yesterday about having Donald Trump there, and remember, keep in mind, Donald Trump and Travis's girlfriend have publicly gone after each other. Mm-hmm. And they asked him about that, and Travis, instead of, taking his girlfriend's side, said the most canned, try not to piss people off thing that you can say, even though I'm sure he got some grief for it when he got back to the hotel room with old Tay-Tay. But he said, I think, no matter who the president is, I'm excited because it's the biggest game of my life, and having the president there, it's the best country in the world, and that's pretty cool. And which, again, if you're trying to stay apolitical, that's exactly what you say. But we also know that that's not what Travis probably –
he's going to have to answer to it.
That's not what he wanted to say out loud. But it just – everything the Chiefs are doing right now feels rehearsed.
It does.
It's hard for me to knock it because so far it's worked for them.
But homogenized always just feels like you're not – all there. And they don't have to be all there to be the world champions, but it just feels like there's not a lot of there's not a lot of fire, a lot of pepper. The expectation is it's going to be a close game, and Kansas City's going to do what Kansas City does, and they're going to win it.
They're going to kick a field goal at the end of the game
and win it. And they'll get a little bit of help from a referee. And meanwhile, Philadelphia's got a running back that they're going to hand the ball to 35 times. We're just going to pound you guys into the dirt and see what you guys do with the limited time you have the ball. And there might be a mistake in there.
Tell you what, that's what the Bills thought they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then it didn't work. They thought they were going to run with Josh Allen, then it didn't work.
I agree. That's why Kansas City's going to be favored. But if there's ever been a low-key favored underdog, it's this one. And I think we're going to see some money come in that's going to be counter to that. But I'm starting to lean toward Philly. I don't know. I don't have any other reason other than it just feels kind of stale today.
I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel like the Chiefs are just going to find a way because that's what they do.
And that's the right answer because
I should just say the Eagles have better players. They should win. But I'm an idiot, and I'm terrified. I'm done. Patrick Mahomes has pulled the football away from me too many times, and I've spun around and fell on my head like Charlie Brown enough. I'm done. But we'll dig into that a lot more next week. The Blitz coming up at 2, live from New Orleans, Louisiana. Thanks to Andrew Zimmern. Thanks to Thurman Thomas. Thanks to you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM, Floresville.